This guy just kicked the bucket on the battlefield after the enemy general took his head, but wouldn't you know it? He opened his eyes to find he'd been reincarnated in the enemy nation. Talk about a mind trip. His dad is a 6th-rank commander and a count of the empire. His mom is the top assassin of a secret organization. His oldest sister is a magic prodigy, and his second sister is a summoner. Being born as the eldest son, talk about a war god reincarnated. He was born at the finish line, all right. Even though his parents love him to death, things are a bit weird. The old man wants him to be a commander and clash with enemies, while the old lady wants him to be an assassin and stab people in the back. The kid is speechless, and that's not even mentioning the other stuff. After Dean turned 1, the Count's family held a choosing ceremony for him and invited a ton of guests to attend. Everyone would predict the child's future based on the items they chose. The old man wanted his son to follow in his footsteps, so he put in a dragon tail spear, a family heirloom. The old lady also wanted her son to follow her career, so she put in a dagger that can absorb all kinds of toxins. Even his 2 sisters both prepared their own items. The whole family really wanted to force their own items on him. The poor kid was sweating bullets. Like, seriously, I'm only 1 year old. How can you guys act like this? While Dean was weighing his options, not sure what to pick, all 4 items suddenly started glowing at once. This means he possesses all 4 talents: spearmanship, assassin, arts magic, and summoning. Seeing this, everyone was absolutely terrified. Even the top genius in the family could only awaken 1 type of talent, and Dean had become the greatest genius in the history of the Count's family. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, Dean was 7 years old. At this moment, he was practicing spearmanship with the old man. Since his son's birthday was coming up, the Count gifted Dean a new spear. The black shaft was sturdy, combined with a razor-sharp silver spearhead. Plus, it was lightweight, so he really loved it. Next, the Count wanted to teach Dean a new skill. He told his son to watch carefully. He saw magic power radiating from the Count, shaking the entire training yard. After that, he immediately focused his power and thrust the spear piercing through, and even space itself was distorted by this single strike. This is the ultimate skill of focusing magic power into one point. It took him 7 years to master this technique. After that, Dean started to try it himself. The Count's eyes widened immediately, unable to believe it. Turns out, Dean succeeded on his very first try. After the shock passed, the Count was overjoyed. He never expected his son's talent to be so much stronger than his own. He didn't know his son was basically a top-tier server player in his past life, just creating a new account to grind from the start. The Count was sure that one day his son would definitely become an outstanding warrior. Very soon, Dean's 7th birthday arrived, and all the important figures of the Empire were present to celebrate his birthday. There, Dean met Duke Tomion again, the very man who had taken his head in his previous life back on the battlefield. The two had fought a fair battle. Each was there for their own country, so Dean didn't hold any grudges against him. Today, he even brought along his youngest daughter, Lady Layla. The party continued in a happy atmosphere, and everyone chatted away. Akin asked, "I don't know how the madame is doing lately." Bill sighed. "I've tried everything, but there's still been no progress. Sorry for the trouble. If suddenly you don't see me here, I hope you understand, because I might have to return to the capital urgently. But where is little Dean? I want to chat with him some more." Akin shook his head. "I don't see him either, or Layla." In another corner, the two children seemed bored with the party. "Actually, I don't like having to follow my father everywhere, but now I'm excited to be here with him," Layla thought. She continued, "At Thomion, there's always something going on. Nobles visit frequently, and sometimes even the royal family shows up. Every time that happens, I have to greet them. It's so annoying. I prefer freedom, wearing casual clothes and fencing," Dean thought. "She knows how to fence. I like both," Dean replied. "This place isn't as lively as the capital, but I look forward to practicing the spear every day." Layla asked, "So are you wanting to join the academy?" Dean quickly replied, "No. I train, but not for that reason." She was surprised. "Why not? Isn't everyone dreaming of getting in?" "Well, I train to get in and perform better. But what if you don't get accepted? Then I'll just try again. If it still doesn't work out, I'll just consider that path not meant for me." The girl looked skeptical. "Aren't you afraid of disappointing your family?" "Not exactly. My family, I value honor very much." "Forget what I said," Dean thought to himself. So the noble houses have their own worries too. Stopping for a moment, Dean sighed and said, "Why do you think that? It seems like you're very good." "Really? So do you want to see my swordsmanship skills?" Layla asked. Dean agreed. "Sure, but just for a little bit, okay? Thanks. Where is your training yard? Can we go there for a while?" Not long after Layla performed some sword routines. While Dean watched and thought she attacked and defended very flexibly, striking at the right time, but a few minutes later, the rhythm became a bit messy. "How was it?" Layla asked. Dean replied, "Very impressive." "Really?" Hearing the comment, Dean felt shy and thought to himself, "Maybe I should say something, but starting from the third stance, it seems like you were half a step off." The other stances were the same. The following sword strokes were a bit off. "Sorry if I made you sad. It's been a long time since I've seen that style of swordsmanship," Dean said. "That's the piece I've been missing for so long." "Thank you, Dean. You're so perceptive, noticing my mistakes right away." Dean laughed and said, "You're making me blush. Can you put the sword away?" "Oops, sorry about that." You silently wonder why she would hug you so tightly. Just then someone rushes over in a panic. "Young Master Din, where are you?" "Layla, they must be looking for us. Let's head back." "Where have you two been?" "We've been looking for quite a while. Happy 7th birthday to you and..." "Congratulations on receiving your first Manicore. Happy birthday, Din." "Thank you, Mom," Din replies. He opens his gift and his eyes widen in surprise. "What is this?" he thinks. "It's a brooch with the family crest. The one my sisters are always showing off. Keep it safe, Din. This brooch will be a testament to your honor within the family. Happy birthday, young Master Din. You have finally become a worthy member of the Solres family." From afar, Din's parents smile gently as they watch the moment. Din thinks to himself, "This is the first time so many people have acknowledged me." At that very moment, a powerful tremor causes everyone around them to panic. What was that sound? What's going on? Damn it is, they're an intruder. Stay calm, everyone, don't panic. This was starting again. I thought today would be peaceful. The mother beside him continues, "Can you guess who it is?" He wonders to himself, it can't be. From the ceiling, a magic circle is summoned, quickly drawing the attention of everyone at the party as they gasp and shout, "What is that?" Next, a silhouette descends from a spatial rift. "Check your watch, sister. I'm not late, am I?" The people around them begin to murmur. "Is that Lady Arabella?" "It seems so. The lady just used teleportation magic. You have to be at least level 5 to open a portal. At such a young age. Our young lady is truly a genius." Din thinks to himself, she's still as loud and dramatic as ever. At the same time, everyone looks outside and screams, "There's a monster in the sky. Oh, it's actually a wyvern." "Lady Clara, you're so late." Clara enters, and people start whispering again. "I heard she's a genius summoner. But to be able to tame a wyvern, is she really only 16? "You're here too." "Yes." They both say in unison, "Happy birthday, Din, happy birthday." The two girls hold out gift bags in front of Din. "I hope you have a really fun birthday, Din." "You too. Thank you both for coming to celebrate my birthday." Arabella cuts in. "Of course we had to come. Now go on and open the gifts. I'm sure you'll love it." "Sister, isn't this a spatial bag?" "Exactly, I designed it myself. Spatial magic applied at the highest level. Even my professor struggled with this." Din thinks as he replies, "Thank you so much, sister." Arabella continues, "Give me your hand. Let me put it on for you." But the hardest part is designing an item that can withstand the magic engraving, he thinks. Arabella adds, I should mention I've already synced your genetic code to it, so only you can use it. This is a one-of-a-kind item, Lily standing nearby says, judging by the gentle mana waves coming from it. That looks like the highest grade magic stone. If you channel a bit of mana into the ring, it will create a pocket dimension, so you won't have to keep opening your storage bag anymore. Such a valuable item. Thank you so much. Din thinks to himself, this is an item that only the wealthy can use on the battlefield like noble commanders or high-level mages. I never thought I'd be able to use something like this. He holds out his finger to try and activate the magic circle from the ring. Arabella adds, "Oh, the ring will automatically resize as you grow, so don't worry." Immediately, everyone's eyes widen. Surprising you opened the pocket dimension faster than I did. You really are a genius, Din. You're truly exceptional. His father chimes in, "It looks like both of you have already developed your mana cores. Din, hurry and open my gift too." "Yes, thank you." Seeing an egg inside the box, Din picks it up. "Why this egg?" Clara explains. "It's not just any egg, so you have to be careful with it." Slightly curious, he asks, "So what is it?" Clara leans close to Din's ear and whispers, "It's a mission. I once summoned a Dakaran, and that was when it appeared. I don't know when the summoned beast and will be born, but it is extremely precious." Looking closely at the egg, he recalls, "That's right, I've heard of this. A familiar is different from a summoned beast. They are separate entities, but they do have a few things in common. A familiar once summoned can exist in this world forever." Clara says, "No one else knows about it yet, Din. Only you know, so please keep it a secret until it hatches." "Yes, I will keep it a secret." Arabella adds, "Why were you two whispering for so long?" Clara continues, "I don't know when it will hatch. Remember to channel mana into it once a day, once in the morning and once at night, so it accepts you as its master." "Yes, I'll definitely do that." "Haha, look at these wonderful gifts. It's really good that your sisters could come back, right, Din?" "Yes, Mom, it's truly wonderful." All right, my princesses." Tsukiyo. "Even though I'm happy you were able to return, even after saying you couldn't, shouldn't you greet your parents as well?" "Oh, Father. Have you been well lately? I was so focused on giving gifts to Din that I'm sorry. It's fine, it's fine. You all seem healthy, traveling such a long way to see your little brother. Get some good rest." "Yes, Father, right away." Not far away, a girl gazes at the happy Saurus family gathering with a hint of envy. He glances over, startled. "Layla? Is she gone already? But why does she look so alone?" The scene shifts to another location. He mutters to himself, She exceeded even my expectations. As expected of the most brilliant mage in the academy. She's truly a precious talent. She's also a perfect match for my son, the academy's top swordsman. If our two families could unite, it would create a force that even the imperial family would have to be wary of. No one would dare act recklessly toward our descendants anymore. Right, I should bring up the engagement between the two children during today's conversation. Where is that sound coming from? Are they training? Who would be practicing this early in the morning? Elsewhere, Dean is intently practicing executing precise techniques. Having just arrived, Bill watches from a distance thinking, "Oh, so it's the youngest of the Saurus family. Haha, what a surprise." His movements and focus, there's no way he's just a 7-year-old. Even his basic attacks are at a level that even seasoned soldiers could learn something from. It's hard to believe. I've heard rumors of his extraordinary talent since he was 1 year old, but I thought they were just rumors. I never expected them to be true. Shifting his stance, he immediately applies a different skill. Wait, that posture and the way he moves it looks just like a swordsman's. No. Could he have already learned swordsmanship at this age? Raising his spear, Dean speaks coldly. "I don't know who you are, but you'd better come out instead of hiding there." Bill thinks in alarm. Damn, I've been spotted. Dean wonders. Besides that movement, it's so familiar. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Then Bill continues. "Forgive me, Dean. I didn't mean to spy on you. Oh my lord, Duke Bill. Bill thinks to himself, just looking into his eyes is enough to know. This is no ordinary child. Dean Soares, the youngest son of the Soares family, greets you, Duke Bill. Bill smiles silently. I was so captivated by the impressive training of the Soares novices this morning that I lost track of time. Please forgive me. You have my forgiveness, my lord, Dean replies. Bill thinks, ho ho, this kid has guts. It seems he just realized something. How is his body not shaking even after training for so long? At his age, I didn't even have mana in my body yet. Bill applauds. Your thrust was excellent. You must have inherited your talent from Akun, right? The spear you're holding. Is that it? Someone said my father crafted this spear for me. I am very grateful that you recognized it. He smiles inwardly. That's a good answer. My son also has talent and excellent training, but not to this extent. Perhaps I should consider arranging a marriage with this family. He continues. Actually, my Layla is also practicing swordplay. Since they are the same age, they could become good friends when they enter the academy. Yes, my lord. I will certainly try to get along with her. Ho ho, I like your straightforward personality. Anyway, it seems I've bothered you during your training. So, Dean, I'm curious about this. Have you ever practiced swordsmanship? Dean thinks, oh no, my habits were accidentally revealed. He replies, no sir, I only read a few textbooks on basic swordsmanship, but I have never practiced it physically. Is that so? He thinks, interesting. Perhaps I felt something like a warrior's spirit in this boy earlier. Haha, what am I thinking? That can't be right. He's just a normal kid. He continues, oh, I only meant to take a walk and look how much time has passed. Well, it's time for me to head off. See you again, Dean. Yes, my lord. Wishing you a safe journey. If you ever visit the capital, remember to come see me. I must return the hospitality I received at Count Soares's castle, and because I'm particularly fond of you. Certainly, sir. Dean thinks, interesting. I wonder if he remembers me. Defeating the one who beat me before. Just thinking about it makes my blood boil. If I slowly prepare step by step, maybe I can do it. Bill, turn me on. In this life, I will definitely surpass you. The screen transitions. Young master, it's time to head back. Herman, have you been waiting for me? It is my duty to silently fulfill all your requests. Thank you, Herman. He thinks, maybe Herman should learn about stealth techniques. That sounds interesting. Dean asks, how is it? Is everyone busy? Yes, it seems they are preparing for the upcoming banquet, and many other nobles are on their way here. After all, getting over 30 noble families to gather on the same day is quite difficult. Oh, right. How are my sisters? They opened a teleportation gate together and went to the academy. They said they had no choice but to participate in the upcoming midterm exams. That's a pity, but it's all right. Let's head back. Yes, young master. Dean thinks, when I have a chance, I should look at the gifts my sisters gave me. And so, as the party got underway, Dean tried his best to greet the guests. Being nobility is so exhausting. My schedule is packed enough as it is, and since it's my own birthday, the least I can do is find a moment to relax. Right here in the garden. How intriguing. The gardener takes such great care of this place. I feel so at peace just looking at these flowers. Just as I thought, nature's flowers hold the most mana. When I have the time, I really should analyze the mana in these blossoms. I've been training so hard, but both my magic and my summoning skills haven't shown any significant progress. I still don't know which one I should focus on. Having too much talent can sometimes be a burden. The mana from these flowers is so vibrant, a tiny flower, yet it holds such a powerful flow of mana. If someone could sense the mana in nature and harness it as their own, it would stay within the body and form a magic core. The way this place draws mana from my body is intense. I can perceive what others can only sense with their sixth sense. Gotcha. Before I could only vaguely feel mana, but now I can sense it much more clearly. Just then, he clenched his fist and the space around him instantly distorted. A different voice rang out, what just happened? Ugh, I'm so bored. I just got here. Father is already busy chatting with the other nobles. It's like he's abandoned us. Once we finish greeting everyone, we'll probably have to head back to our room like last time. Can we really do that, brother? Why do you care? You think the young master of the Grey family cares about this? Who cares anyway? You think the young master of the Grey house would worry about something like this? Damn it, I have a feeling we're heading in the wrong direction. I don't know why they even built this huge garden. Hey, look over there. Is that kid lost too? Hey, you with that outfit. You're a servant, aren't you? Come on, everyone can hear you. Dean's eyes filled with rage as he turned toward the two who had spoken. Get me to the exit quickly, Dean shouted loudly. You idiots get out of here right now. Can't you see what you're stepping on? One of the two replied. What's that? Dean continued. Why, are you walking on the flowers instead of the path? Huh, look, you ruined the flower bed. The brown-haired guy sneered. Ha, a brat like you is acting pretty tough. Do you know who I am? I do, a thug who tramples on flower beds. Thug, you said. Who do you think you're talking to, servant? I am the son of Count Digron, an honored guest of this castle. Dean thought to himself. Count Digron. That's the noble I defeated on the battlefield. He's truly as annoying as they come. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The brown-haired guy continued. Even if you're from the southern countryside, you must have heard of the Digrons, right? We are very famous in the capital. My family could make you disappear without a trace, so watch your mouth. Dean thought, talking to this guy is a waste of time. He added, Are you crazy? You're just a low-class servant. How dare you look at me with those eyes? While the man was still stunned, Dean suddenly delivered a powerful headbutt straight to his face. The younger brother screamed, Brother, are you okay? You lunatic, what the hell was that? My nose is bleeding, I'm going to kill that bastard. If you're good enough, then try it. Have you lost your mind? Fine, let's settle this. Brother, take care of your nose first. Seeing the guy get ready to move, Dean easily dodged him. This pesky little brat. Dean thought, looking at his footwork, he's clearly not a weapons expert. He must be a mage or a summoner. Outside, the younger brother panicked and shouted, Brother, this brat is too fast. You can't catch him. Dean began to think. The magic flow I saw earlier, if I can control it with my will, can I manifest it into a physical force? Should I test it? Dean extended his hand, and suddenly a magical blast sent the man flying back 10 meters, making him cough up a mouthful of blood. Dean thought to himself, Oh no, the flower garden is ruined. Damn it. He can use magic. Who are you? Brother, stop. If you don't, something bad is going to happen. Get out of the way. I'm going to kill that bastard. Hear my call. In the next moment, he released the mana from within his body, making Dean's eyes widen in surprise. He was a summoner. From the magical space, a wolf gradually emerged. Ha ha ha. This is Zenbu, whom I've summoned. I'll show you the consequences of messing with a Digron. Zenbu, tear that guy to shreds. Dean calmly thought. A normal wolf can't compare to Sister Clara's since she can summon dragons. The man shouted again, That's right, bite that dog's throat out. He stepped toward the dog with fury. However, the dog's expression quickly changed as it stood right beside Dean, shocking the other two. What is happening? How did you make Zenbu? Is it wagging its tail? Ugh, what are you doing? Hey Zenbu, good boy. Dean thought straight. How is this even possible? Now that I think about it, even Sister Clara's summons seem friendly. Anyway, perhaps it's just because I share her bloodline. Besides, this situation has nothing to do with it. Maybe I just have high affinity with it. But that also means that bastard. My affinity has already dropped. This is ridiculous. What on earth am I supposed to do? And since when can a summoned beast just betray its master? Huh, you want to keep going, kid? Forget it, I'm out. We lost. I answered, quiet. I'm going to cancel the summoning contract. I turned to look at the kid's pants, realizing they were wet. Damn it. How embarrassing. And don't you dare say another word. Listen, the bathroom is on the first floor of the main building. You go there, and I'll be back in a second. Let's go Den. Din thought to himself, hey, at least take your summon back with you, will you? Honestly, it was pretty simple, just like how Sister Clara taught me. There was a faint connection between that jerk and Zenbu, so after carefully using magic to overwrite it, Zenbu was connected to me. Just thinking about how I don't have a formal connection, and yet I was able to summon it just because of high affinity is actually pretty special. At that moment, a voice rang out nearby. Isn't that the kid who bullied you? Yes, that's him. Din thought, that idiot is making a mess of things again. He didn't just bully me and Dina, he also broke the bond between me and Zenbu. His name is Mogat de Gran, the head of the Count de Gran family, one of the most prestigious noble lineages. You're the one who hurt my son and stole his summoned beast, aren't you? Yes, that's right. Din thought, he looks fatter than when I first caught him. As a guest, I could let it slide, but this can't be taken lightly. Why are you in a place like this all by yourself? Quickly reveal your identity. No audio/text for this keeping format. Letting out a long sigh, Dean replied, I am Dean Sogres, the youngest son of Akin Sogres, Lord of the South and the head of the Count Sogres family. Is that really true? Both of them thought, this kid is Din. He thought, the youngest of the Solgrace family, The situation has reversed. He was captured by that Arik guy and didn't get anything out of the fight. I'll shift the context to make the Count take responsibility, and from there I'll demand mining rights. Those nobles who look down on me will have to kneel. Interesting. This kid is the host of the birthday party, Din. Yes, that's right. He continued thinking, he didn't come to the desolate south just to celebrate a birthday. Tell me, kid, what do you intend to do about this? You hurt my son. This is a guest you invited and you even took his summoned beast. This is clearly a crime. Yes, it is. Today is the end for you. I will report this to Count Sogres and demand that he take responsibility. Let's go. No audio/text for this keeping format. You can clearly see it for yourself. I understand, but first, I demand an apology. An apology? How unexpected. You bastard. Din interrupted. That's right. It's true I punched your son in the nose and left him with injuries, but I only acted while under threat. That was self-defense. And I didn't steal the summoned beast. Zenbu chose to follow me. Zenbu would never do that. Father, that brat is lying. He thought, wait, I heard the second daughter is a genius summoner. Surely she must have taught this brat how to sever the bond. He continued, even if what you say is true, having a summoned beast taken away is still heartbreaking. And yet you have the nerve to demand an apology. That's right. That's what I'm demanding. He replied, who does this kid think he is acting like this? How arrogant. Talking to this child is such a headache. He said, fine, I won't scold you anymore. Let's see how Count Sogres decides to handle this. Din thought, it seems he's really looking forward to the outcome of this. No audio/text for this keeping format. Just then, two others approached from afar. Are you looking for me, father? Why are you here? Oh, Count Sogres and Duke Thermien has come too. The red-haired guy explained, my brother and I got lost in the garden, so I wanted to ask your child to lead the way. He thought, that's my father. He cares a lot about the family, but he's not someone who plays favorites. Even when there's conflict with others, he can distinguish right from wrong. Suddenly, he hit me. He used some strange technique to mock me, so I had to summon my beast to scare him. And then, he even robbed me of my summoned beast and tried to attack me. Din thought to himself, can he really lie with such a straight face? I actually had high hopes for his future. Count Sogres, I only intended to warn the boy, but taking someone else's summoned beast is unacceptable. Akin said, we can't just listen to one side. I want to hear the story from Din. Then I will judge the whole situation and come to a conclusion. If you are concerned about my decision, I suggest Duke Thermien gives his opinion. If you want me to, I will decide it that way. He thought, damn it, Thermien getting involved only makes things more complicated. I have a bad feeling about this. Aiken asked, Dean, explain yourself. Dean thought, Father, just explaining the general overview of what happened will be enough. Din began, although there are a few discrepancies with the truth, some things that Dagrand's son said are true. However, he arbitrarily trampled on the flower garden that we had been taking care of. The person who got angry and grabbed someone else by the collar was him. That's a lie. Since when? Go on, Din. Furthermore, I heard it very clearly. When he summoned Zenbu, he ordered it to kill me. In reality, I didn't steal the summoned beast. His summoned beast ran to me and felt my kindness. Bill thought, a 7-year-old child who can talk like that, you never stole his summoned beast. What nonsense. There's no way someone who isn't a summoner can capture a summoned beast. The kid must have used some secret skill. Yet he was the one who carelessly trampled all over the flower bed we worked so hard to grow, and he's the one who got angry and grabbed someone by the collar. Since when was he lying, and he's still printing more? I heard it very clearly when he summoned Zenbu, he ordered it to kill me. In fact, I didn't. Stealing a summoned beast. His summoned beast ran over to me and felt my kindness. Bill thought to himself, a 7-year-old child capable of saying such things. I have never stolen his summoned beast. What nonsense. There's no way someone who isn't a summoner could tame a summoned beast. The brat must have used some kind of secret skill. No, I have an innate connection with summoned beasts. A summoned beast that isn't close to its master would see me as a true owner. How ridiculous. Is that really possible? Well, yeah. Haha. It doesn't want us to believe that, does it? Those are two completely different stories. If that's the case, we should prove it. Regarding the summon beast, he thinks, damn it, the Duke is interfering. Dean, can you prove it? Yes, Father, right now. The father's gaze flickered toward his son, who was wide-eyed and breaking into a cold sweat. What should I do now? He thought. Can't I summon Zenbu, Digron? Sure. What's wrong, summon it, Father? Wait, is it that I can't? How come you suddenly can't? You can't summon the thing you do every single day. He thinks, I've severed the link, of course he can't summon it. Father, I'll summon it now. It seems I need the seal he possesses. What did you say? My seal. No way. Impossible, you want my seal. What are you babbling about? Even if you use a summoner's unique encoded seal, it still won't have any effect. Based on what you said, even if the boy uses your seal, it won't work. So trying it doesn't hurt, right? Right. Wouldn't that prove what you said? He thinks, damn, because he's not wrong, I can't argue with that. The father next to him chimed in, show them your seal for a moment. But the father turned his face away. The father shouted, hurry up! Dean thought to himself, with a unique summon seal that a summoner carves, no one else can use it. But Zenbu, that doesn't mean I won't. Keeping the summon seal is just a medium. Zenbu has already bonded with me and will respond to my call. Watching the newly summoned beast happily nuzzle Dean, left the two men standing there in astonishment. Father, how did you do that? My Zenbu? No way. Bill spoke up. That's incredible. You said the boy has never studied summon arts. Acker admitted, that's right. I'm not sure what led to this. Sorry for summoning you just for this. And thank you for appearing. He thought to himself, damn it, this has become a disaster. Acker asked, now what should we do? We've verified his summon beast. Do you acknowledge it? It seems Dean was right. Turns out we misunderstood the stolen summon beast. My son didn't intend to kill Dean, right, Digron? Yes, I just wanted to scare him a little. That's right. I never thought about killing him. Look, the boy didn't mean it like that. Dean thought to himself, ha, this jerk is just making things up as he goes. At the same time, another voice rang out, that's not true. Hearing this, everyone turned to look. It was young Layla who appeared. Layla, what are you doing here? The girl replied, I heard Father's voice when I was passing by. Greetings, Count Sogress and Count Digron. That's right. He wondered, is this child the Duke's daughter? Anyway, what did she want to say? Is he lying? She continued. Actually, I accidentally overheard their conversation while I was taking a walk earlier. He thought to himself, what the girl heard everything. Is that true, Layla? Can you tell us everything you heard? What happened was, Dean thought to himself, I didn't expect this, but thanks to the girl, everything was resolved smoothly. Degron, why are you still standing there? Apologize, hurry up. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Acker continued, I want you to save that apology for my son. No, shouldn't it be for me? I see, I was going to tell him to do that anyway. Degron walked toward Dean sullenly. Sorry, Dean. Dean thought, just bowing my head to accept the apology because I have no other choice. Is that really an apology? I don't want to accept this. But in my experience, instead of being stubborn, it's better to act generous. Dean replied, Fine, I accept your apology. Thank you. He thought, phew, that was a close call. Bill thought about this situation. I already knew he was special. He could be stubborn and refuse to accept the apology because the fault clearly lies with the other person. You two can stop the argument here. Dean has already accepted the apology. By the way, I have no intention of letting this incident slide. You intended to kill my son with a summon beast. Oh, Count Sogras, that's not it. Acker added, I don't want to hear any more excuses from you. Count Digran, take your family and leave this castle immediately. What do you mean? He thought to himself. I came here without a single complaint. If I get kicked out now, everything will fall apart. I need to stay in this castle at all costs. He continued. He thought to himself, I came all this way without a single complaint. If I get kicked out now, everything will be ruined. I need to stay in this castle at all costs. He continued, Count, please forgive us. We'll do whatever you ask just this once. Forget it. I don't need anything from you. I'm sending my guards to your room right now. Let's go, Duke. Come on, Layla. Serves you right, Dean thought. They're the ones who caused all this. You reap what you sow, I guess. I never realized my father could be so terrifying when he's angry. A moment later, Dean asked, Is that really true? You took it down with a single mana bullet. Yes, that's right. Summoning magic martial arts and now arcane magic too. That's incredible. Has there ever been anyone that talented in history? Truly, I am so proud to have such an exceptional son. Well, talent is one thing, but the boy is incredibly calm. Usually, when children fight, they get all worked up and are desperate to win. But Dean isn't like that. I have no doubt that your son will grow up to be an outstanding man. Khan replied, It's still too early to say for sure. We'll have to wait until he grows up to see. The fact that today's incident was resolved so smoothly is all thanks to Layla. If you hadn't been there as a witness, things could have gone a very different way. Bill thought, oh, is he actually acknowledging Layla's good side? If that's true, then... But right after Bill said, the girl was simply recounting what actually happened. If there's nothing else, why don't we talk about the marriage between our two children? Khan panicked, thinking, don't tell me he wants Dean to marry his daughter. Stopping that train of thought, Khan continued, oh my, the sun has set already, and it's almost time for the banquet. I'll head back to prepare. Countess Sogras, Layla, feel free to head back with Dean. Lord Khan, let's have a little chat. As they walked out of sight, the girl asked, why didn't you stop him? Also, why did your summoned beast listen to you and let the summoner go? I've seen many duels between famous summoners in the capital, but I've never seen anything like that. Dean replied, I'm not really sure either. It just kind of happened. She pressed on, you're hiding something, aren't you? That's not fair, I helped you, you know. What do you mean not fair? I've helped you too, haven't I? Didn't I help you out with your swordsmanship? Oh, now that you mention it, I guess that's true. Dean thought, well, she did help me out a lot this time. Dean continued, then let's call it even, and maybe we can help each other out from now on. Upon hearing that, the girl eagerly replied, wow, that's a great idea. I want to put it to use right now. Dean thought, she's way too impatient, wondering what she wanted. Dean asked, So what is it you want to ask? Teach me how to use mana bullets. What? Why do you want to learn that? Well, because I want to get better. I want to get at least a mana core before I enter the academy. Dean thought, she's still so young, why the rush? The girl continued, I want to become really good and make my mother happy. You see, my mother loves me so much, and she would definitely be very happy if I became it even more skilled and faster. Dean remembered something he had heard. That's right, I heard the adults talking about this. Countess Thormian is seriously ill. Dean replied, all right, if that's the case I can't refuse you. Really, are you serious? Then let's start tomorrow, I'll be here at that time. Or, do you want to start tonight? All right, that works too. Mana bullets aren't hard once you understand the flow of magic. The girl said excitedly, I'm so pumped. Okay, it's your turn. What's your request? What do I want, huh? At another location, a conversation was taking place. I heard Count de Grand was kicked out of the castle. I wonder what he did to end up in such a state, one person asked. I heard it's because his eldest son caused some kind of trouble. Another replied, that's right. There's word that he provoked young Master Dean and was dealt with appropriately. It's so embarrassing that something like that happened right here. Also, have you heard the rumor that young Master Dean is an exceptional summoner? Oh, so the Sogress family is going to become a prestigious family of summoners. Not only that, he also knows how to use magic. Oh, is that really true? You must be young Master Dean, the one in the rumors, right? I am Baron Open. Do you know anything about the open territory in the east? The young man asked. I know a little. I've heard that land is famous for grilled salmon and sapphire stones, Dean replied. Ha, what a smart young man. The salmon and sapphires of the open family are the best. On this continent, I hear you're talented in many fields. That must be true, right? Anyway, I brought my daughter here. Let me introduce you. Baron Open said, Sylvia, go ahead and say hello. He turned toward his daughter. Dean was surprised and thought, what, why, all of a sudden? Hello, I'm Sylvia. It's a pleasure to meet you. The girl introduced herself. Oh yes, I'm Dean, Dean replied. You're going to be the heir to the Sogress family in the future, right? Dean replied, I'm not really sure what she's asking for, but don't ignore her. I hear you're very talented. I hope you'll keep an eye on me. Who knows, maybe we'll become family in the future, Sylvia continued. Yes, I look forward to working with you, Dean replied while thinking to himself, why are kids these days so straightforward? Just as the two were holding hands intimately, Layla approached. Dean, you're here, she asked. Lady Layla, right? Dean replied. Layla looked at Sylvia with a wary gaze and asked, who is this girl? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the eldest daughter of Baron Open, Sylvia Open. The girl introduced herself politely. Oh, is that so? Nice to meet you, Layla replied with a hint of hesitation. Dean thought to himself, I feel a familiar killer instinct here. Girls are usually terrifying, Layla said. Excuse me, I need to borrow Dean for a moment. We had an appointment beforehand, didn't we? Dean was taken aback. Oh, that's right. Sorry, Sylvia, let's talk later. Yeah, quite a relief, isn't it? Yeah, is she subtly confirming that she's the bad guy? Layla turned away, showing her clear lack of goodwill. How do you two know each other? Is she the person you're engaged to? Layla asked. Dean firmly denied it. Engaged? No way. We were just greeting each other. Is that really true? Of course, Layla smiled brightly. Look, we're here. This is a secret spot that only I know, Dean said, piquing her curiosity. Oh, it's so surprising that a place like this exists, Layla exclaimed in wonder. Exactly. No one will bother us here, Dean said, leading the way inside. Layla looked around, fascinated. Wow, this is truly amazing. I didn't know this place existed. Surely no one will know what we're doing here, Layla said excitedly. It's a great place to practice. Do you know how to sense mana yet? Dean asked. I've tried a little, but it's not enough to create a mana core, Layla replied. I guess you haven't entered the outburst stage yet, have you? Dean thought, start with the basics first. You need to feel the mana you absorb into your body, Dean instructed. Feel it inside my body, Layla asked. That's right. If you want to release mana from your body, you need to learn how to control the mana inside first. Imagine it. Imagine, Layla wondered. Close your eyes and visualize it. Mana is swirling inside you like blood circulating. All right, I'll try, Layla said, and closed her eyes. Dean watched her with close attention. Dean, it's not working, Layla said after a while. Dean encouraged her. Just try again. It's only your first time after all. Focus. Nearby, Aiken was stealthily following the two. Oh, even though he's still young, my son already knows how to teach others. He's really growing up, he thought to himself. Bill, another person, suddenly appeared. What are you doing here? Aiken was startled. Oh, Duke, Bill laughed. Haha, don't be so startled. Is there some couple secretly dating in the middle of the night? Aiken was flustered. Huh, a couple. Did you come here too? I'm just following my son. Haven't you realized it yet? Being this sneaky is something only your wife could pull off. You haven't learned anything from her, Aiken criticized. I've tried, but, Bill retorted, if the master of the mansion follows others around, it'll give you a bad reputation, old friend. I'm just following my son, and you're not an exception either, Aiken replied. Layla asked, do you have a spatial bag like that? Yeah, my sister made it by hand and gave it to me. Oh, I'm so jealous. The guys haven't paid attention to me since I entered the academy. But why are you using a mirror? Layla asked. I bought it for convenience, Dean replied. Really? Layla looked into the mirror in surprise. It helps with visualization, Dean explained. Really now? Layla asked again. Yeah, stand in front of the mirror and see your whole body, Dean advised. All right, let me try, Layla said while Dean observed her with attention. Layla seems to have developed feelings for your son, Bill replied with a thoughtful expression. It's only on the surface. She must have something mysterious going on. After her brothers left home, her mother got very sick, so she hasn't been around like before. This makes it hard for her to open up to others, Aiken asked. Is that really so? But why are you so cold to your own daughter? Bill explained. Do you know I do it for a reason? When raising my sons, I spoiled them too much. And now they're all spoiled rotten. I don't want Layla to end up the same way. So, that's why Layla asked Dean for help. You've been nagging just like the old days, Aiken commented. Are you planning to send your son to the capital? If so, will you allow him to stay at the Duke's mansion? Bill asked. Maybe I've succeeded, haven't I? Dean was happy. That's right, you did well, Aiken replied. I'll let Dean decide, just like with Arabella and Claire. If Dean wants to go to the capital, I'll follow your word, Bill said. Oh, if you visit, that would be wonderful. What else do you want to butt heads with me all day? You're sharper than before, aren't you? Thank you, Dean. You're truly a genius. Many people have called me a genius already, but compared to you, I'm not. Are you really that talented? Dean replied. This is just the beginning. You'll become even stronger. In his heart, Dean thought, those two have left quietly. Do you also intend to go to the academy? That's the place where all the geniuses of the empire gather. Maybe I'm still not sure. Is it really necessary to go? I can train on my own to become stronger. You're such a fool. Studying isn't. That's the place where noble connections are forged. You have to go if you want to network from a young age, Dean thought to himself. Ha, this little girl is so determined and really understands how the world works. Even though I'm only 7, I know that, but I'm not really interested in studying at the academy right now. I still have a lot of books in the library I haven't read yet, and I still have so much to learn from my parents. That's right. But don't you want to play with the other children? I heard all your older sisters are already at the academy, Layla asked. That's true, but I'll think it over and decide whether to go or not, Dean replied. Make sure to tell me if you decide to go. Okay. When you come to the capital, don't forget to visit me and watch me practice. I promise. Definitely. If I get the chance to visit the capital, I'll send you a letter. Oh, Madden. When will you tell me what you want? I'll tell you when I get to the capital. What? The next morning, Dean said, "Let's go." Holding the item in his hands, Dean asked Bill, "What is this?" "This is a birthday gift for you. I hope you like it." At first glance, the gift looked very expensive. The symbol of our house, the Thorn family, is revenge. A sword and a smith's hammer. The history of the Thorn family began with our ancestor, a blacksmith. Thanks to him, our family built the top-tier forge in the Empire. No, not just in the Empire, but across the entire continent. All the weapons crafted by the Thorn family have played a major role in leading the Empire, Dean thought. I know. There are all kinds of ores and every type of weapon and mystical artifact forged there. If you go to the forge and show them this symbol, they will craft a weapon of your choosing. Dean realized this symbol it's a means to identify the identity and quality of someone with skill. Surprised by the gift, Akin exclaimed, "Oh my, this gift is too precious. This is something that even the royal family would dream of possessing. Grow up well and help your father." "Thank you for the gift, Duke," Dean said, while Layla waved goodbye. "Are you sad to be parting with your old friend Dean?" Lily asked. "Yes, I'm very sad. She was my first friend. When I return to the capital, I'll see her again." Try to become a dashing young man to surprise her, he thought. "Yeah, I can't. Stay here forever. I'll see you again when I visit the capital. Take care, Layla." Bill thought to himself, strange. Every time I look at Dean, I'm reminded of that boy, a warrior named Arik, talented as a third-level warrior even at such a young age. If he were still alive, he might have become a sixth-level knight of the Empire. "Dean, I hope to see you grow up quickly." A few days later, Dean muttered to himself, I've been feeding mana to the egg every morning and night, and it still hasn't hatched. This really is a mysterious egg. Even if I'm not a summoner, if I feed it mana and imprint my own signature before it hatches, I could permanently control a summoned creature that usually can only be used temporarily. My mana quality has to be compatible. Perhaps there are many complex conditions that haven't been met yet. I've heard there are eggs that never hatch because the conditions aren't satisfied. I hope that's not the reason. I've tried adjusting the flow and power of my mana, but I still don't see any reaction. Am I being too greedy to expect success? From the very first try, young master, are you done yet? "Oh, Herman, you're here," Dean replied. Suddenly, the egg behind him started glowing, and Dean curiously turned to look. "Did I just hear something? Young master, what was that sound?" "Wait a second, let me check the egg, Herman," he said. Dean thought, no, I don't see anything strange. Could I have been mistaken, haha, a false alarm? Herman asked again. "Did the egg have any reaction?" Dean replied, "No, maybe I was just imagining it. Let's keep going." Moving to another area, Dean was engrossed in practicing with his sword. "Amazing young master, since when have you been practicing the sword?" Herman asked. "Just been swinging it around a bit." "Truly a genius. You can even handle a sword," Herman praised. Dean thought, learning to use weapons is really fun. I haven't been able to hold a sword for a long time because father was always watching. Thank goodness my skills haven't gotten rusty yet. "Let me treat you to a light snack before we continue, shall we?" Dean said. "That sounds great, thank you, Herman," he replied. Dean felt happy, because practicing here was truly enjoyable. Scene shift. Someone remarked, "Sigh, this is exhausting every year, but we've harvested many things from the final banquet. It's clear that many nobles are focusing on the south, where the climate is good and there are many desirable things. But that interest cannot compare to the amount of attention Dean is receiving. The conflict between him and Count Digran's eldest son happened beyond my expectations, but the boy calmly and confidently explained everything to the adults. The boy is so mature. Sometimes I wish he could just act like a child his own age. Perhaps that's just my own wish. It's almost time. The Dragon Tale. Today I'll let him try swinging it. Walking into another room, Akin stopped involuntarily when he saw Dean practicing with the sword. He thought to himself, swordsmanship. Why is Dean using a sword instead of a spear? Surely the old Duke must have said something to him. Otherwise, why would he be practicing the sword after having spent so much time on the spear? But it seems the boy has some experience with the sword as well. The power he's showing is something even many who practice the sword their whole lives would struggle to imitate. When did he learn that still one thing is undeniable? The boy has a talent for swordsmanship. Akin spoke up. Dean, I've been watching you for a while. Since when did you start learning swordsmanship? Dean thought to himself. I guess the secret's out. It's probably better to confess to father. He replied, I didn't really learn swordsmanship. Akin frowned. Is that so? Then it's just natural talent. Dean thought to himself, I think I've been exposed. Maybe it's better to just confess to father. He replied, I didn't actually study swordsmanship. Akin thought, wait, really? So it's natural talent then, magic assassination summoning, and now even swordsmanship. If it were anyone else, I'd never believe a child could be so gifted in all these fields. Dean, do you want to explore the world outside? Father, what do you mean? It's true. The world beyond these walls. I feel like this territory is perhaps too small for your talent. If you stay here, it would be a real waste. Dean thinks to himself. It seems he's realized that I can't stay here forever. Akin continues. If that's the case, then good. We need to prepare you to step out into the world. Really, of course. Although there's a hint of regret, I still must honor my son's wishes. Today, I've brought you a special gift. Do you recognize it? This is the dragon's tail spear that reacted to you on your first birthday. Dean recalls, that's right, I remember. It reacted to me. He reaches out his hand to touch the spear, and he feels a surge of power spreading throughout his body. How magical! The power seems immense. Akin thinks to himself, the reaction is even stronger now than when the boy was small. No one can deny that it's because of him anymore. Do I need to? I will help the boy make his talent for the spear shine the brightest on this continent. Before you leave, I will help you master this spear. So be ready. Yes, father. Dean, one day this spear will belong to you. Before that day comes, become strong enough to wield it with pride. Of course, father. Instead of just the dragon's tail, I will diligently follow your teachings. Just as I expected from my son. Very well. Then, let's begin. Yes. The outside world. I've always felt curious about it. Even during my days on the battlefield in my previous life as Auric, I only knew of war. Cleaning the camp, maintaining weapons, eating bland food, and heading back into battle. The only way to escape that was for the war to end or to die on the battlefield. There were only two options. I can't imagine what life outside the battlefield would be like. But now, as Dean, everything is different. I don't know how my talent will be used, or how the world will welcome me, or what I'll be able to do. But I've finally got the chance to go anywhere and do what I want. For a moment, I just wanted to stay here and enjoy the warmth of this place. But thanks to Father's question, my thinking has changed. All right, let's step outside. At that same moment, another voice speaks up. So, have you decided, my son? Mother, since when were you standing there? Don't worry, it seems I was so lost in thought that I didn't hear you knocking. Ah, is that so? Yes, that's right. I heard from your father that you've been thinking a lot. Do you want to explore the world outside our territory? Yes, I do. Father said it would be a waste of my talent if I just stayed here. After thinking it over, I'm curious about the world outside too. I'm sorry, Mother. There's no need to apologize, Dean. If you leave, Mother will be just fine. I understand you, Dean. I know how talented you are. Whether you want to stay or not, the world outside will still call out to you. If possible, I wish you could stay a little longer, but life doesn't allow for that. So go and fulfill your desires. Dean replies, Yes, Mother. Even if I leave this home, I will visit often and tell you all about the things I see in the world out there. Thank you, my son. Now perhaps we also need to prepare you to face the world. Just like father, prepare. What do you mean? I plan to teach you how to explore and guide you step by step. From there, but perhaps you'll need to learn how to set and avoid traps as well. Dean thinks to himself, I'll even have to learn these special lessons from mother. His mother continues, also you need to learn how to dispose of an enemy's remains, and the structure of the human body too. He thinks to himself, oh no, I'm going to be exhausted before I even step into the outside world. His mother says, in any case, mother will teach you many things. Yes, mother. I will try my best. Dean thinks, these special lessons from father and mother are taught with all their love. If I want to go out into the world, I need to be fully prepared. In the southern region of the Anthian Empire, the Sogres Earldom, where the climate is warm and natural resources are abundant, this land has become the focal point of the Anthian Empire. In the context of war to ensure maintenance and development, thanks to the skillful governance of Earl Sogres, this place always maintains peace. When the war ended, the echoes of the rebellion were quelled. Finally, an era of peace which felt like it would last forever had returned. Scene change. Have you heard the rumors? I heard young Master Dean stop by a few shops. Really? That's right. He came to buy something. It seems the shopkeeper's daughter fainted on the spot that day. Oh no, so the rumors are true. I heard he's becoming even more handsome. I wish I could see him just once. It seems he doesn't have a sweetheart yet. Should I try What Are You Crazy? He's only 14 years old. Well, from what I've heard, he doesn't act his age at all. Is that true? Yeah, I heard he's already as tall as the Earl. Oh my, is it because the Countess is also tall? Truly, the genetics are strong. Just looking at him, you'd definitely think he was 20. With that platinum hair and those turquoise eyes, my heart will stop if I meet him. The next time he comes, I definitely have to go see him. Who knows when he'll come out? It seems he usually stops by that shop. I wonder when he goes out. It seems like he usually stops by that shop, doesn't it? That's right. The forest ranger told me about this. Really, I met the ranger earlier. It'll be much easier. Are you actually going to do this? On the outskirts of the county where ancient magic runs wild, lies the Forest of Doom. Dean is currently carrying out the escape mission his mother entrusted to him. The wind is blowing from the south. I've seen cherub spiders here before, so I have to keep moving. Heading west, 1 more hour to go. I need to get out before sunset. One of the golden rules for an assassin is never to let the enemy catch you within a certain time frame. Dean must avoid the traps his mother set and find a way to escape this dangerous forest. Breathe in the air and the mana around me. Hold it for a moment, then breathe out. Once I hide myself and blend into the surroundings, the hidden traps will reveal themselves. Translucent tripwires are hanging everywhere. It looks like just touching one would trigger a trap immediately. These are basic, but still very deadly. Luckily, this type is easy to disable. Suddenly, Dean jumps as a pack of monsters appears in front of him, snarling. Oh no. It's a pack of voodoo. I didn't expect them to show up here. They're charging at incredible speed. I have to deal with them quickly. Wait, if I act now and hit a trap, that'll be dangerous. There's no other way. I have to get out of here fast. Stop thinking and just run. Dean sprints for his life while the monsters follow close behind. Unexpectedly, they accidentally trigger the traps and needles immediately shoot toward them, taking down one monster after another. Ha! They got caught in the traps. I handled them without breaking a sweat. As he turns back to look, one monster has escaped the trap. It snarls, baring its sharp teeth at Dean. It's too fast. Then it takes a stance and spits a liquid from its mouth. That's definitely something dangerous. I can't stay here any longer. The moment he thinks that, Dean's eyes light up. With the spear in his hand, he slashes the monster into many small pieces. At least, I made it out of the forest safely. What's next? Damn it, why was I so careless? Suddenly, he stands frozen as the silhouette of his mother appears before him. Well done, Dean. Total time 3 hours and 30 minutes. You're even faster than your mother. Have you been watching me the whole time, mother? Of course. I couldn't just let you go through this forest alone. Even though I know your talent better than anyone as a mother, I can't help but worry. Yes, mother. You did very well. I don't see any mistakes. Are you hurt? I'm fine. Are you sure? If you keep going like this, you're at risk of being recruited as an assassin. Here, take this. It seems to suit you better than me now. It's my dagger Nihon. Can I really take it? Of course I don't use it anymore anyway. His mother continues, Nihon was forged from mysterious ore Ethereum. This type of ore absorbs the elements of all things. If you want, you can even store all the poisons in the world. Dean thinks to himself, I knew it could absorb toxins and use them too. Thank you, mother. I'll take good care of it. Thank you, Dean. Let's head back. He thinks to himself, phew, perhaps this is everything mother had to teach me. Just then, a loud noise suddenly echoes, drawing both of their attention. Mother, did you hear that? Yes, it seems there's someone else in the forest. Let's go, Dean. Yes, mother. In the annex of the Sogris County, a man wakes up with a start, gasping for air and muttering, where am I? I think I must have eaten some mushrooms in the forest. Right then, a young man enters and says, You're awake. You're still in the middle of detoxing, so don't move too quickly. He wonders how this young man knew and asks back, Detoxing. Did you save me? That's right. You ate some red cap mushrooms. Luckily, we found you in time. Red cap mushrooms. You mean poisonous ones. If we'd arrived any later, you wouldn't be here anymore. Drink some water. Ah, thank you. Dean thinks to himself. The emblem on his belt belongs to the Nixon Magic Tower. He's not an ordinary person. If I didn't have Nihon, I wouldn't have been able to save him. Back to the present, he asks. Thank you, young man. So where am I? Dean replies, At the annex of the Sogris County. Sogris County. He thinks, so not only did I get lost heading south, but I got mushroom poisoning, and ended up all the way here. Dean continues, You should just rest. I've already notified my father. He'll come to see you soon. Your father. So you are. That's right. I am the youngest son of Count Sogris. Sogris Dean Sogris. Really? You're the younger brother of Arabella, the genius that every magic tower is keeping an eye on, right? Yeah. How did you figure that out so quickly? Could it be that you didn't see me training with my mother in the forest? What training in that forest? He probes. Could it be that you don't know that forest is extremely dangerous for outsiders? The mana currents there have shifted countless times. Even an 8th rank mage like me could get lost. That forest is filled with traps. It's our heritage. He sighs in relief. Seriously, I almost kicked the bucket in there. Wait a minute. Is this kid strong enough to train in that forest? So I'm the one who crafted the antidote, he thought to himself. To think someone so young could possess such profound knowledge and skill. It's unimaginable. In wartime, the Sogris County could have become one of the most powerful forces in the Anthean Empire. Ha ha ha. So I owe you quite a bit, don't I? That's right, he thought. This kid has some real guts. I'll have to repay my debt to you, but first let me introduce myself. I am Siren Galls, the master of the Nixon Magic Tower. You need something, just say it. He was referring to a subspace, Dean thought. Is that for real? Dean wondered. Most mages don't need houses, they just survive by storing everything they need in a subspace. Siren wondered why the boy didn't seem surprised. You won't get a second chance, Dean, he muttered thoughtfully. I'll think about what I want and let you know, I replied. Siren felt bewildered, thinking, this kid is impossible to read. Well, you should get some rest and recover, I said, watching the door close. He thought to himself that I was the first person to ever treat him like this. At first, I only planned to stay for a day or two, but now I've decided to stay longer to learn more about this interesting kid. In another area, a guard asked, the master of the magic tower. Isn't he supposed to be a Grand Master of Magic? That's right. Rumor has it, He's an 8th tier mage. 8th tier. Even higher than Lady Arabella. He really is a VIP. Magic towers are independent territories. No one could have imagined he'd end up lost in such a terrifying place like the Forest of Apocalypse. Surviving that alone is a miracle. Absolutely. Luckily, the young master saved him. Herman, bring me a new sword. Everything I currently have is too light and short. They're all broken blades. From the war that the Count brought back. Get a longsword ready for me by tomorrow. Dean suddenly remembered something, the mark that Duke Thormyen gave him. 7 years have passed since that day. If I ever have a chance to go to the capital, I'll surely run into him. Sometime later, what the... I haven't fully recovered, yet I'm going to go insane staying in this room for this long. Sir, you cannot move around much, and you are not permitted to use magic. Why not? Your mana flow hasn't returned to normal. We still haven't neutralized all the poison in your system. You really just have to wait. It's been a long time since I haven't been able to use magic. I suppose this could be a change of pace, but if I stay here any longer, I'll definitely lose my mind. Let's go outside. We should go outside. If something happens, there are only 2 types of mages, the talented on the left and the madman on the right. Look, sir, you've gone up and down every floor in this house 10 times over, and now you've been staring at the flowers in the backyard for hours. You're supposed to be the strongest mage, right? What of it? Perhaps you've already gone mad. Lady Arabella needs a normal life, but I'm curious who created this garden. I couldn't have predicted that these flowers would contain such a magical amount of mana. Just then, someone approached and said, I stopped by to see how you were doing, but I didn't see you. So, this is where you were. Haha, did you think I ran off? Some people told me I had to stay here until I fully recovered. That's right. That is what I desire as well, he continued. This place is truly an ideal spot to rest and recover. Now I understand why nobles often come here when the vacation season arrives, Dean replied. That's true, this place is wonderful. I'm a bit sad I have to leave so soon. What, you're leaving already? Where are you going? Not too far. I plan to go to the capital. The capital, you say? Surely you're planning to go to the academy, right? And your sisters are there too, aren't they? That's right. They'll have an easy life there. He thought to himself. His sisters are famously talented. I wonder just how talented this boy is. I think I should check. What is this dense mana? His mana is condensed to an unbelievable degree. If geniuses his age are like streams, this boy is a magnificent waterfall. 1. Amount of mana like that is usually very unstable and prone to leaking out. So how is this even possible? Besides that, Dean interjected, aren't you judging someone's magic, and without their permission, a bit impolite? Ah, you noticed you're quite sharp, aren't you? Ahem, I apologize. I was thoughtless, he thought. There's no way a person could have mana as extremely condensed as this boy. Dean thought to himself, what is he surprised about? He started to look confused. Why can't I see his magic circuits? With that density, they should be visible. Could he have 2 mana cores? After a moment of thought, he asked, how did you create your mana core? Is there a problem with that? Of course there is. You have such an abundant amount of mana, and yet you still want to hold a spear, and you possess a type of magic that only needs a core and no magic circuits. Do you truly want to give up the greatest talent anyone has ever had? Why not use both? I'm getting frustrated. I don't know where to begin explaining. Do you know why the lifespan of a magic swordsman is so short? They are powerful because they possess both mana cores and magic circuits, but they hinder each other, and when they collide, problems arise. That is the law of nature. The mana compressed in the core is transferred to the magic circuits, so when the magic circuits cannot handle the pressure, they explode. Dean thought to himself, wow, I've really done quite a bit of research on my own. But is this truly impossible? What a waste of such talent. How could you possibly use magic without it? How do you not have a magic circle? That should be impossible. But without the tuning of a magic circle, how could you use spells that require pure magic? Besides, others have thought like you before, but most of them failed. So let me try. Hearing that, he asked confused, "What was that? I've never tried that before, but maybe it's possible." He thought to himself, "What is this crazy kid talking about? If I rearrange the magic code?" As soon as he finished speaking, Dean reached out his hand and began connecting the magic. Instantly, an explosion occurred. Oh, it worked! But that was just a basic level 1 spell. What? How is that possible? He thought to himself, this child has no a magic circle at all, yet he can still use magic. He continued, I can't believe it. You should only be able to use raw magic through the adjustment of a magic circle yet. Dean replied, my sister Arabella said that I have a high affinity for magic. Maybe that's why. Ha! He thought, this must be what ordinary people usually say when they describe talents that cannot be replicated. Is this that innate talent? Dean thought to himself. It actually works, so it is possible to use magic without a magic circle. Now he understood. Trembling, he could not believe what he had just witnessed. He thought to himself, innate mana affinity, and it's even denser and purer mana than anyone else out there. Does this person actually exist? He continued, do you want to become my disciple? Hold on a second. I just wanted to chat for a bit. It would be a shame to pass up a rare talent like you. Do you know how to use level 2 magic? I don't know the code for that, so I can't. Oh ho, that's amazing. If you become my disciple, I will teach you level 8 magic. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Hearing that, he became furious. Just then, Akin arrived and asked, ha ha ha. I didn't expect you to be so close with my son. Father-son. What are you two discussing? Dean replied, he kept insisting I become his disciple, but I refused. A disciple, you say? Count Sogres, your son, has the talent of a great mage. Ha ha. Is that so? Perhaps. He is even greater than you imagine. He even succeeded in using a chain spell without a magic circle. Without a magic circle, really? Akin continued, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any basic magic knowledge. The old man interjected, that makes his talent even more impressive. As expected, the former master of the magic tower recognized my son's talent immediately. It's not just talent. Your son is a genius. The kid could even become a rare magic swordsman. A sword is still better than a spear. With a sullen expression, Akin stammered, a magic swordsman, you say? Dean thought to himself, oh man, you shouldn't say that in front of father. Yes, that's right, a magic swordsman. Finally, you seem interested. Huh. If you become my disciple, I will take full responsibility. I will turn this kid into the strongest magic swordsman in the empire. He thought, what is this? Why do I feel like he shouldn't become a magic swordsman? But why not a swordsman with magic? Isn't he very well suited for it? My son Dean will not be a magic swordsman, but will become a magic spearman. He thought to himself, what is that the issue? Haha, why is everyone in this family the same? For a mage, becoming a disciple carries deep significance. In tradition, mages often guide their successors through a process called inheritance. This has existed for a long time and continues to this day. Even in the modern era, when general magic education was born, this connection remains very important. In fact, the master of the magic tower is not just looking for a disciple, but also looking for a successor. Having a level 8 archmage by your side is incredibly valuable. It shows that his talent is truly outstanding. After receiving much praise, I felt a strange stimulation inside my body. Ah, I understand now. Whenever you want to see me pour mana into this crystal ball. Okay, let me ask Arabella. Sister Arabella, it's me, Dean. Dean, my little brother. What's the matter? Sister, I was able to cast level 1 magic. But you don't even have a magic circle yet. Dean replied, it's true I don't have one, but I can still cast it. I know you're a genius, but I didn't expect you to be that good. Dean continued, a magic circle is just a tool to filter and circulate mana. Perhaps my mana is already very pure. Arabella agreed. That sounds reasonable too. I have a way to check. Here I will send you a magic stone via the transmission machine in your room. You just need to pour a little mana into it, okay? I understand. He thought. My eldest sister is so good to me. Mana is always what I crave to understand. Advice from a level 6 mage will be very valuable. Arabella added, come to think of it. If you can already cast magic, you will attract a lot of attention at the academy. Dean responded, I don't want that, but anyway, it's unavoidable. You have a real talent for catching eyes. Just remember to tell your sister if anyone bullies you at school. Okay? I'll deal with anyone who dares to lay a finger on my little brother. Wait, sister, did you forget? I heard you already broke the nose of that guy who kept hitting on you, right? He was the second son of the Hawk Duke, wasn't he? Arabella sighed. Don't bring up that jerk again. Even without a magic circle, I wonder if my mana could become even purer over time. Din thought to himself, I'm not sure. Arabella added, I'll look into it later. Miss Arabella, the professor is looking for you. Oh, Din, I have to go. I'll call you later. Okay, see you then, sister. All right, I'll send you the magic stone as soon as I can. Din thought. I'm about to discover a whole new horizon. This is so interesting. I never imagined my mana could be this pure. Could it be that I have a dragon's heart? Elsewhere, he sighed. Damn it. I probed his mana, and the results are even worse than I thought. I've been planning to leave this place for a long time, but I still can't. Back when he hadn't accepted the offer yet, a memory surfaced. Oh ho, it would be wonderful if you agreed to be my apprentice. I'll teach you 8th tier magic immediately. No, I don't need you. He wondered to himself. What must I do to make him agree? Should I give him some magic artifacts? Or should I share knowledge passed down through generations? That's too much. If I choose the wrong path, I'll end up with nothing. Meanwhile, a knock outside broke the silence. Are you in there? It's me, Dean Sogress. He thought, what is he doing here? Has he finally accepted my offer? Come in. Thank goodness you're still here. I have something to tell you. What do you want? He thought, wait a minute. I knew it. He must be looking to become the apprentice of a brilliant 8th tier mage like me. Right. So, what is it? What are you here for? Didn't you say you weren't interested in magic? No. Right, I'm not interested, but... Wait, you don't want to be my apprentice? Do you already have a master? No, I don't. He thought to himself, ugh, is this brat toying with me? He asked, if not, then what is your purpose in coming here? Din thought. I don't know how to advance to the 2nd tier. Having my sister teach me is too hard since she's so far away. The best way is to learn from Mr. Sidran, the man who owes me his life. Din said, I don't just want to be an ordinary mage. So you want to be a magic swordsman? No, I'll be a mage, a magic swordsman, an assassin, and a summoner. What do those professions even exist? And a swordsman too. That's ridiculous. It's too difficult. So you're still refusing me then? No. Is this your only chance then? That's right. He thought. He's too stubborn. What could make him stop refusing? Do you want a recommendation letter? A recommendation letter. I heard you wanted to enter the academy, right? If I write you a recommendation letter, you will be accepted directly. He thought, this condition is really attractive. All right, good. Now let's discuss the details. Can I set a condition? He thought, he's already starting to waver. I will seize this opportunity and not let him get away. Of course, go ahead. Can you teach me how 2nd tier magic works? Certainly, I understand. Every type of magic in this world. Then I'm counting on you. It's nothing. He thought, he's still young. A letter of recommendation and some 2nd tier magic mechanics, it's nothing for me. Let's start right away. My health isn't great, but it'll be fine. All right, let's begin. He thought, he's fallen right into my trap. Wait, I'll take this as repayment for saving you in the forest. What? You said it yourself you owe me a favor so I can ask for anything. And as for becoming your apprentice, no way. He thought, did I just get scammed? Scammed by a 14-year-old. Wait, you asked for 2 things. I only owe you 1 favor. I don't think so. What do you mean? Din continued. First, I saved you from the forest. Second, I removed the poison from your body. Furthermore, I even carried you all the way here. Don't bring that up. He wondered again. Why is this child so cunning? My back hurts a little. The screen changed and he thought to himself, it's okay. If I persist in convincing him, the important thing is that you have the ability to cast magic even without having a magic circle. The next level of magic flow will be very complex. Many have given up at this step, so listen very carefully, okay? He whispered to himself. He seems quite interested, but I won't make it easy for him to reach his goal. I'm going to teach him a lesson about manners. Now listen. Level 2. Magic is a completely different tier. It's entirely distinct from level 1. You have to calculate the mana output, the mana levels in the air, and even your own physical condition all by yourself. That is exactly why so many people give up. They quit learning magic because of how incredibly complex it is. Tell me, do you even understand what I'm talking about? I suppose the kid will need me to explain it in simpler terms. That's the gist of it, you follow? Yes, I understand. I really have a lot to learn, don't I? It's not just about how magic works, but all the things we still don't know yet. Is it really like that? Tell me about the laws of how magic functions. The first law is coexistence. Mana can exist in parallel with the physical world and other sources of mana. Mages use their own mana and the ambient mana around them to cast spells through this coexistence. The second law is conservation. It's hard to believe, he thought to himself. The boy actually understands the essence of magic perfectly. Dean continued. If mana gathers enough physical elements through conservation, it can cast magic based on all sorts of different elemental attributes. I'm amazed. Is he even adding his own interpretations to it? Most people find this stuff boring, but it's clear he's not like them. How could someone like him exist? He continued. Every time you level up, magic becomes exponentially more complex. Instead of just explaining it, I'll demonstrate. This is level 1 magic, which can be cast using simple rules. But from level 2 onwards, everything changes. Level 1 doesn't even compare to level 2. This is how level 2 magic works. Din pondered. They connect in such an incredibly complex way. It seems much harder than the theory. He continued. This is the magic that creates level 2 fire magic firebolt. If you want more, you have to cast the same spell multiple times. He thought to himself, you must be pretty surprised, right? This is the first time you've seen how level 2 magic works, isn't it? He said with a playful tone. Does it look complicated? Most people take at least a year to start casting level 2 magic after they've mastered level 1. He pointed out, no matter how smart you are, you can only understand a fraction of magic. The core here is the laws. If you can't grasp that, then everything else will be meaningless. I'll observe you for about a week and slowly show you the techniques. Din replied from the side, should I give it a try? Try it, you. Yes. All right, but it's going to be very difficult. No problem. So Din closed his eyes to focus and released his mana. Is this level 1 magic? That's right. He thought, oh, he can create paths with precise length and width. Truly impressive. So he's using level 1 in such a simple way. He wondered if the kid had perfectly copied the mechanics of level 2 magic just from watching once. He asked, how did you do that? Din replied, when I watched, I memorized the rules and the patterns. When I visualized the magic in my mind, it wasn't very hard. He thought, this is truly beyond imagination. Even a magic genius like me took a while to be able to cast level 2. This boy actually can manifest it without a magic circle. Then I'll try it too. Firebolt. Really? As soon as the words left his mouth, Din began chanting. "Oh, looks like it's working." He thought, "Wait, he cast it that easily. This is absurd. If I had your talent, I probably would have reached my dream of level 9 by now." Din asked, "Am I doing it right?" He replied, "Yes, yes, very impressive. You learn faster than I expected." "Yes, I was surprised I could do it on my first try too." He thought to himself, "A mage with no magic circle. The world would be in chaos if they saw him. No, he's gone. I have to hide this talent. A lot of people will try to approach and bother you, at least until you become my apprentice." He continued, "All right, shall we move on to another spell?" Yes, he thought, I need to figure out how to write a recommendation letter to the academy. Sometime later, Din said, "Magic lessons are more interesting than I thought. I need to study both theory and practice thoroughly. But now I can finally use magic. Thinking back in my previous life, I was forced to give up magic during situations where I didn't even know if I'd survive the day. Spending time to study magic was a luxury I couldn't afford. To survive, I had to wield a sword. Magic required prioritizing theory over action. Moving to a certain point in time, that makes me feel much better in this life. Combining the theory I learned from my sister with my natural talent, I can show explosive growth with just simple guidance. Furthermore, I'm getting taught by the former owner of the magic tower. What magic should I learn tomorrow? Half a month passed. He said, "What you want to make magic reagents?" "Yes, but we lack materials, so we'll need to go outside the territory." Starting with reagents already. Don't worry, the kid has already studied how level 4 magic works. Usually it takes a month to finish one level though. Information on magic reagents isn't easy to find. Where did you learn all this? I learned it from reading the magic books in the library. They're really interesting. As expected, you're a genius. I never thought you'd be this curious about magic reagents. Most people find it boring, but you actually enjoy just choosing the materials. Certainly. All right, this experience will be very valuable for you. You're going out, so you should also check on the territory. Yes, father. The scene shifts. Young Master Din. Young Master, please take some snacks with you. These are our new products. Your silver hair looks beautiful fluttering in the wind today. I hope everyone is doing well. I'll come back for the snacks later. He thought, it seems Count Sogress isn't a bad person. Well, given how he treats me, that's fair. This southern region has so many appealing things, from delicious food and pleasant weather to friendly people. A rare sight compared to the capital. Truly, this place is so warm. This southern region has so many attractions, from delicious food and pleasant weather to friendly people. It's a rare sight compared to the capital. Truly, this place is so warm. How much longer until we reach the magic shop? I'm not entirely sure since I've never been there before. Herman, please lead the way from here. Yes, young master. The shop isn't far at all. It's truly a stroke of luck to have you visiting our magic shop. Oh my, is that really the young master? Your silver hair and jade-colored eyes are simply breathtaking, just like the rumors say. Thank you for welcoming us. How has business been lately? Still the same as always. We have plenty of customers buying magic artifacts. I mostly sell to foreigners and those who are passionate about magic. I never expected to have the honor of meeting the former master of the magic tower. Master Siren is here. Dean thought to himself. She recognized him with just a single glance. That's not surprising though, because not many people have become masters of the magic tower in this empire. Please feel free to browse the shop. If you need anything, just call me. All right then. Since this is your first time visiting, feel free to explore. I'll have a quick word with the shop owner. Dean felt intrigued. Whoa, there are so many interesting things here, and something about it feels strange, like a sense of déjà vu. Furthermore, whenever I touch the magic artifacts, I can feel their magical reactions. It must be because I have high magical sensitivity. What was that sound? There's a rather strong reaction coming from that direction. What could it be? The girl behind him replied, Young master, that's just a decoration. Oh, is that so? The old man interrupted. Why don't you come over here? Let's check out some alchemy ingredients. These moon roots are quite good. A wonderful choice. I have at least 50 types of potions containing moon roots. They're stuff I grew myself, so the quality is guaranteed. Dean thought to himself, that's strange. That's right. That's it. That stone is making a sound. Young master, is something wrong? Herman asked. I can feel something from this stone. It's just a decoration, you know. I'm not sure, but this stone is really strange. You think so? The more magic I channel into it, the stronger the reaction gets. Could it be that it only reacts to my magic? Your eye for quality is excellent. It would be perfect to use as a specimen. In that case, please get me these moon roots and a few go-gila berries. Dean asked. May I ask, what is this? Where did you get that stone? Does it have any significance? That pile is just decorations. Decorations? You think? No way. How can a decoration react to magic? The girl said. Just thinking about that stone makes me annoyed. Why is that? Were you scammed by someone? A few years ago, some peddlers paid me with a large package. When I opened it, it was that stone inside. The guy had already left, and I didn't know what it was, so I had it appraised. In the end, it was just a rock, nothing more, nothing less. I didn't know where to put it, so I just left it there. Dean thought, that's strange. Clearly, this stone is anything but ordinary. Young master, if you want something better, please take a look over here. I own a few special magic artifacts. I'll show you. Oh, all right. This is a business card holder. Dean thought, even though this place has so many cool things, I only want this one. The girl continued, if you place it inside, it will automatically save the information you want. You just need to call out the person's name. Their business card will appear. And also, Dean chimed in, I'll take the business card holder and this stone. Why would you want that useless rock? Dean thought, I definitely need this stone. What are you planning to do with it? Hearing that, Dean just smiled without saying a word. I didn't expect that you'd be interested in decorations or art, or perhaps that stone has something special about it. You realized it. Of course, otherwise. Why would you want to buy a useless rock exactly? I also think this stone isn't just a decoration. It can react to my magic. Is that? So I'm not sure what that stone is, but hearing you say that has made me curious too. There are too many people here. Let's go back to the palace to examine it more closely. Agreed. The screen changes. Do you know what it is? Are you underestimating my precious experimental tools? With these, we will know what it is. Dean replied, although a mage appraised it and said it was nothing special. The old man continued, no matter what he said, how could it compare to this of mine? I've spent a fortune on this stash of advanced tools. It can analyze anything you put on it. Try it out right now. All right, I'm quite excited. Okay, place the stone here and channel your magic into it. When he heard that, Dean immediately placed his hand on the stone. Light erupted from it. Dean thought to himself, there is something truly special. Siren thought, finally something to be proud of. Seeing the scene before them, Dean asked, is this magic code? That's right, but not just ordinary magic. He thought to himself, this is incredible. This is a magic script containing laws, structures, and casting methods I've never seen before. It might even be as complex as a 6th or 7th tier spell. So the magic hidden in the stone is the thing displaying that magic. Exactly. Your magic is the key that unlocks this seal. I say that because it only reacts to your magic. You're wondering what it is, aren't you? What kind of magic is inside this stone? Why does it only respond to yours, The magic sealed inside is a bit unfamiliar to me, but since I am the former master of this magic tower, I'll give it a try. If I succeed, perhaps I'll figure out why. Your magic is so different from everyone else's. Well, it's possible. I hope this works. Inside her private laboratory, Arabella carefully observes a strange phenomenon. It really is distinct. It's not a common type of magic. It possesses a unique characteristic that Dean shared with me. It's unlike any magic I've ever known, but which field could this magic be related to? In the results I've gathered, there's no trace of magic reagents, magic gates, or magic engineering. If it doesn't belong to any of these categories, then what on earth is it? It must belong to some field. Ah, right. There is a forgotten field of magic. Dean's magic must be related to that. Where did I put it? Ah, found it. Alchemy, divination, spiritualism, necromancy, and even a primitive magic code. Just then, a book nearby falls, catching Arabella's attention. Huh, is this an ancient magic book? Come to think of it, there was a magic kingdom that existed a long time ago. Specifically, magic inherited from Akina. Because it's an ancient type of magic, 200 years ago, no one knew how to use it. Haha, why am I talking about this? Akina's magic disappeared 200 years ago. There's no way Dean's magic could be related to it. But that's alright. I have nothing to lose, so I'll just experiment and see. Once she finished speaking, Arabella began resonating the items prepared beforehand. When she opened her eyes again, words appeared on the blank paper. Something started to emerge. Could it be alchemy, divination? Or, no way is it necromancy. I can't believe it. What is this? In another room, Dean and a man are intently observing an object emitting light. Oh, it seems the seal has been lifted, Dean observes. There's definitely something inside, isn't there? The man asks. That's right. Let me take it out. The object looks like a simple silver bracelet, the kind anyone could buy at a market. I thought there would be something special inside. It is the reason itself. This bracelet only reacts to your magic, so you should try wearing it. Yes. Dean quickly follows suit and puts on the bracelet. Immediately, a stream of light emits from it. Oh, just as expected, it reacted. I see some strange characters. What are these, sir? Do you recognize them? That's right. These characters are ancient script that no one in the world can read. Ancient script? What are you talking about, sir? They are characters belonging to the ancient magic kingdom of Akina. Looking at the bracelet, Dean suddenly remembers. Akina. When I was little, I heard Arabella talk about it. She said that during that era, everything was created from magic, but then one day that era ended. Now only a few ruins and stories remain passed down through generations, and this magic code too. Ha. I knew your magic was special, but I never expected it to be related to that ancient magic kingdom. Perhaps that's why it was so easy for us to move through the forest these past few days. Seems so. Because the magic in that forest originated from Akina. He thinks to himself, I always wanted this child to be my disciple, but looking at this bracelet, I don't see anything else. You can explore it slowly. But don't let this get out. Yes, I will follow your advice. Suddenly, both are startled by a noise. What sound is this? Don't tell me. Diseo, are we being attacked by monsters? Haha, luckily my body has recovered almost completely. Perhaps I should loosen up a bit. I can finally return the favor. What are you standing there for? Go grab your spear or something. Hearing this, Dean rummages through his coat and pulls out an item. What is that? It emits a sound similar to the one from the other side. Dean replies, This sound isn't related to the monsters. It's my sister trying to contact me. What? Why didn't you say so from the start? Haha, there's no way a monster appeared here. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll talk to my sister for a moment. Yes. Is something wrong, sister? Dean, why? And did it take you so long to answer? Sorry, sister. Did you call me for something? Arabella continues, during the process of analyzing the magic code. Wait, is someone next to you? Don't tell me you realized my magic is ancient magic too. What? How did you know? Ah, I see. When Sir Siren and I were analyzing some stones, I guessed it came from the ancient magic kingdom. The stone only reacted to my magic. Dean confirms. Yes, that's right. Siren thinks to himself, she figured this out just from analyzing the boy's magic. I knew she was a genius, but it seems she's even more talented than I imagined. Arabella asks, does anyone else know? No. Good. Dean, listen to your sister carefully. Sir Siren, please keep this in mind as well. It's best to keep this a secret. If you let it slip, you won't be able to handle the consequences. Siren interjects. Ahem. Ms. Arabella, I've heard so much about you from Dean. Oh, Lord Siren, I apologize for getting straight to the point without introducing myself. Continue, Siren. Don't worry, I'll keep this conversation confidential. If this gets out, not only Dean, but the entire Solres family will be in big trouble. Arabella agreed she had indeed understood the situation immediately. Siren asked, is this conversation being recorded? No. As soon as it ends, it will automatically vanish. That's a relief. Nobody wants to leave behind vague evidence. My plan is to return to the Magic Tower for further investigation, Arabella said. Thank you for helping us. No, Ms. Arabella, I'm doing this out of the responsibility of a mage, so there's nothing worth mentioning. Oh, while we're talking, I heard you're looking for a Magic Tower to join. Have you decided on one yet? Not yet. But I have no intention of joining the Nixon Magic Tower. It doesn't suit the field I'm passionate about. Dean thought to himself. I was wondering who he got that decisiveness from. It must be his sister. He continued, ahem, ha ha ha, I see. You don't necessarily have to join our Magic Tower. Dean thought Sis is pretty blunt too. Arabella added, there will surely be other talented people joining your Magic Tower, Dean. We'll discuss the details later, shall we? Yes, Sis. Take care, Sis. She has truly become a very talented person. That's right. This item is also her creation. She said these streamlined communication orbs are the latest trend among young mages. Exactly, very impressive. However, such an item isn't really necessary once one reaches level 8. Communicating with others isn't exactly their priority. If something is important, just coming to see me in person is enough, isn't it? Ah, I see. He seems like he has no one to talk to. Dean thought. The scene transitioned. When you talk about ancient magic, it makes me feel uneasy. Haha, Father, don't be too worried. If anyone targets Dean, I'll make them pay, Lily interjected. That's great. Mother will silence anyone targeting you in the way she likes best. Ha ha, they're really serious. But having two guardians like that makes me feel safe. Wait, if that's true, it means there's ancient magic in our bloodline, right? That's an interesting question, and we don't know if any of our ancestors possessed it. I'll check on my side of the family, Dean thought. If both sides of the family look into this, would they discover something? Even if it's not too important, I still find it intriguing, his mother added. Regardless, it seems like you've surpassed many limits, Dean. If you continue to stay here, it will hinder your growth. You should consider moving to the capital starting now. The capital. That's right. You know you can only be admitted to the academy at age 14, and you're old enough now. Actually, I wanted to keep you here for another year or two before sending you off, but it seems you've already learned everything you can here. Dean, if you decide to go, you can leave at any time. I'm surprised they'd think that way, Dean thought. Dean, you will do great. Go and develop your talents the way you want. Yes, I understand what you're saying. I will prepare to enroll in the academy. This decision makes sense. This is great. It's time for me to take the next step. The scene shifted. Siren asked, is that your choice? That's right. Faster than I thought. You made a good decision. Staying here longer would only limit your talent. That would be a waste. I also have a piece of advice for you. Don't be in a rush to reveal too much of your talent. Although the Academy welcomes talent, not everyone thinks the same way. Dean thought, that's right. Sis Arabella told me about this before. She had faced insults before, but normal kids wouldn't be able to keep up. But the Thormian family is a different story, Dean thought. Right. I promised her I'd visit if I went to the capital. If I don't visit, she'll be very disappointed. I should also think about what to do with the seal the Duke of Thormian gave me. Siren continued, let's see. If you only have 3 months left before joining the academy, it makes sense for you to depart from here in 2 months. And what about you? I intend to return to the magic tower because I have things to do. Thanks to you, I don't feel bored anymore. If there is any information regarding ancient magic, or anything related, I will notify you. Really, if so, I would be extremely grateful. Yes. As for your studies, if time is short, we need to speed up. Reaching level 3 is not a simple matter. Level 2 is nothing compared to level 3. Yes, I will study hard. Oh, I have prepared a gift for you. A gift? Yes. Sis sent it to me via teleportation magic yesterday. This is a new product. Oh, this is... Dean continued. This is a new streamlined crystal orb that isn't on the market yet. Arabella invented this. She is very fond of me, so when I asked, she agreed. Siren replied, "It's quite compact and beautiful, but I don't need this. However, I will gladly accept the gift you've prepared. Please don't hesitate to use it to contact me." Oh, I can encode the password into this, Dean thought. Even though he said he didn't need it, he looks excited. That's right, my lord, please do so. Haha, this thing is simple and easy to use. I suppose he won't contact me too often, huh? The academy, I need to seriously prepare for the remaining 2 months. My interest is being able to use summoning magic to a certain extent. My goal is to be officially admitted to the summoning magic class and receive the summoning mark, but I have no need for this. However, I will happily accept the gift you've prepared. Please don't hesitate to use it to reach out to me. Oh, I can write the code in here, he thought to himself, even though he said he didn't need it. But you seem quite excited about it, sir. That's right, please do so. Haha, this thing is simple and easy to use, Din thought. Maybe he won't contact me too often, right? The academy, I need to seriously prepare for the remaining 2 months. My goal is to be able to use summoning magic to a certain degree. My target is to be officially enrolled in the summoning magic class and receive the summoning mark, and I'll have a chance to take the aptitude test. Since Claire is an assistant professor, I'll probably see her quite often once I join the academy. The screen changes. Right now, the entrance exam system is quite simple. There are 2 tests you need to go through. 2 tests. That's right. One is a general test, and the other is a major specific test. Could you explain that more clearly? The general test is a preliminary screening to categorize candidates. It's a test on culture history and issues related to the empire. You'll definitely be able to pass that without any trouble. Of course, doing well will be a bonus since it counts toward your total entrance score. The next test is the major specific exam. Just as the name implies, you'll choose a major and be tested on it. The content of the test depends on the professor, but I'm sure you'll pass. Plus, you have a recommendation letter too. Dean replies, "Ah, I remember now. You girls passed that test easily, right?" Arabella continues. "That's right, it wasn't hard at all. However, once you choose your major, you have to stick with it for the major specific exam unless you want to change it later. So choose carefully. I'm still hoping you'll choose the magic major." You think, she still won't give up, will she? Dean replies, "All right, I'll consider that. If, after enrolling, I want to change majors, do I just have to transfer?" The voice replies, "Usually, yes, unless you've already graduated and want to start over from scratch. Of course, you can still take classes in other majors, usually from the 3rd year on advanced major classes. Won't allow students from other majors to join." Dean says, "So that means I have to choose just one major to study." The voice adds, "Ah, yes. Then there's a program called Elective Major for talents like you." Dean thinks, is that actually a thing? Sounds interesting, but if you don't have any intention of failing, nobody wants to sign up for that. Dean asks, "Why is that?" Arabella explains, "Because so far, no one has ever passed that exam." Interesting. "Don't tell me you're thinking of giving it a shot." Dean adds, No way. "Ah, Sister Sir Sidrin is coming. I'll contact you later." Am I putting too much pressure on myself? No, but about magic, it's still, Arabella, Senior. The professor is looking for you. Ah, all right, I'll be right there. This is the recommendation letter I promised you. Did he really write this for me? Yes. It's not just the form, I've put my heart and soul into the content as well. I've written a few recommendation letters before, but this is the first time I've put so much thought into one. Consider it an honor. I'll try not to let you down. It would be amazing to be accepted as his student, but honestly speaking, even if he did accept me, I don't think I'd be obedient enough to call him master. You think, haha, how did he know? Sidran shifts the conversation. Have you finished preparing for your trip? Dean replies, yes, sir. Actually, I don't have much to bring. Plus, the dormitory facilities at the academy are great. Almost everything necessary is already provided. Sidran says, the facilities are indeed good, but only a few people are hogging them. But you aren't the type to let yourself lose to those kinds of people, are you? You think listening to him, it sounds like the academy is just a collection of nasty nobles. Don't forget, that place might be quite harsh. If you show any sign of weakness, plenty of people will show their true colors and bare their fangs immediately. Dean thinks it's probably no different from a battlefield. Huh. Yes, I understand. If you need anything, please contact me. The thing you call the crystal orb is really useful. I'll make good use of it. But why are you talking like you're about to leave? You noticed I'm planning to leave tomorrow. Really? I can't stay here forever, can I? Your father invited me to be a magic advisor, but I'll think about that later when I'm free. You know there's a lot of work waiting for me back home. I thought I was done. But there are still many missions I need to complete. Dean thinks. Is he talking about ancient magic? Helping him is like helping myself. Not bad at all. Anyway, thank you, kid. Dean replies, thank you very much for everything this past time. Yes, I look forward to seeing how strong you've become when we meet. Again. So I'm off. Don't see me out, or I'll feel embarrassed. Dean says, yes, please take care. You think maybe because we've spent a long time together, I feel a bit sad that he's leaving. The scene cuts. Sir Sidran has left safely. Dean also announced he would depart today. We will use the teleportation gate that Arabella prepared. Don't worry, there won't be any problems. Indeed, I was worried for nothing. Regardless, I think we've raised our children very well. While children from other families are busy fighting over who will be the head of the house, we also have to make a clear decision one day. But I don't favor anyone. Meanwhile, Dean enters and calls out, Father, Mother, I'm here. Oh, Dean, you're here. Are you preparing to leave now? Mother interrupts. You've brought the signet I gave you and the seal, right? Of course. If you encounter a difficult situation, go to the place I told you and show them the signet. Yes, I remember. The people there are my old colleagues, aren't they? That's right. They are people I'm very close to. It's been a long time, but they will definitely help you. Father thinks, could it be that our Dean is going there? And starting the path of an assassin, gathering his thoughts, he continues, Dean, when you get to the capital, look up Duke Thorman before entering the academy. The Duke will help you. Yes, Father. Dean realizes, Dean has grown so much that he's about to leave us like this. Dean is already so grown up. He's going to be leaving us soon. Haha, send me off with a smile, my lady. Let's hurry up. We aren't going that far. You were thinking it would be tense, but now that we're about to leave, my legs suddenly feel so heavy. So if you'll excuse me, I'm heading out. Juliet, keep a close watch and make sure Dean reaches the teleportation gate safely, then come back and report to me. Understood, my lady. In another room, it's been a while, Shadow. You know what to do, right? Keep an eye out and see if there are any unusual situations when Dean teleports. Note. Part of the previous dialogue. Hearing that the shadow gradually vanished. Elsewhere, the young master thought, seeing something like this in person is truly impressive. This is the teleportation gate that my eldest sister prepared beforehand. Lady Arabella is truly remarkable. Dean replied, right. Now I understand why she spent an entire year investing in this. If I step in here, will the teleportation be activated? Yes, I'm sure it will. He thought to himself, I don't. Asau, Know how much effort she put into this. Do-I teleportation isn't just about arranging code like other spells. It also requires constant readjustment and continuous channeling of magical energy to be successfully cast. But the gate she installed is a perfect device that meets all the conditions for teleportation. Then, young master, please take care. Yes, I'll stay healthy. And then, Dean slowly approached the gate, thinking to himself, she said all I need to do is channel energy into the gate and it will activate. At that moment, Dean spread his arms and began to channel his energy. A powerful light quickly radiated from the space gate. As soon as he opened his eyes again, light illuminated everything around the forest. People were bustling about. Happily, Dean had arrived. Gate to the capital Athenia. I have been waiting for you, young Master Dean Solgris. I am Louis Asma, captain of the First Knight Order of the Thomion family. Dean replied, Ah, so it is you. He thought to himself, it's quite embarrassing to have the captain himself come to welcome me. He continued, From now on we will escort you. Please ensure the transport route is safe. Yes, Captain. Then let's set off immediately. I look forward to your support. He thought, entering this place for real. The feeling is so strange. I never expected that one day I would set foot in the center of the Athenia Empire, which I once hated so much, and to top it off as a promising figure too. Alluring sounds echoed from a voice, Come here, to witness the miracles. You don't always get opportunities like this. Hurry up. The price is very reasonable. For just 1 silver coin, you get 3 freezing spells. He thought to himself, Haha, so many strange things. I never thought the capital would be this lively. That is the mansion of the Thomion family. Hearing this, Dean looked ahead. It was indeed a magnificent mansion. He thought to himself, but something felt strange. It felt like someone was watching him. Perhaps it was just his imagination. A moment later, a voice spoke up. Welcome, young Master Dean Solgris. We are very pleased by your presence. Dean thought, what a disciplined, orderly lineup. The decorum and etiquette are executed so naturally and with such strength, completely different from what I saw in the south. Just as he arrived, he bowed before Duke Thomion to greet him. Dean Solgris requests to speak with Duke Thomion. Yes, that's right. It's been a long time, Dean. How have you been lately? Your journey must have been exhausting. Come inside and rest. You look so different compared to 7 years ago, among the children of the same age. Deus, even compared to those a few years older, no one can compare to you. Ah, Cullen must be very proud of you. Dean replied, You are too kind, sir. Even though I cannot compare to Beckham yet, I have also prepared quite well for the academy entrance exam. Of course you can rest comfortably. I will arrange a servant specifically for you. If there is anything you need, just let me know. Yes, certainly. By the way, how is Layla doing lately? He replied, She is still doing well. But, could it be that you and Layla are arguing? Dean was surprised. Sir, what do you mean by that? Every time your name is mentioned, she doesn't seem very happy. Really? I'm not sure either. Maybe it's partly the pressure from the entrance exam, but I believe Layla can overcome it easily. I will meet her and ask. He thought to himself, why would that be? Is it puberty? Well, let's think about this later. A reminder, don't be too harsh on her, okay? Yes. He added, soon you will understand. Dean wondered what could that mean. Anyway, let's go to your room to rest. The servant will lead you. Then I hope you can rest comfortably. Thank you very much. He thought to himself, now I will be here for about a week to prepare for the exam. This guest room seems a bit luxurious, doesn't it? First, I'll unpack my luggage, and then I'll find the training area later. At that moment, a girl walked into the room. I will lead you to the training area, she said. Dean sounded surprised. Is that really you, Dean? Why are you only showing up now? I've been waiting forever, Layla. It's been so long, how have you been? Layla replied, Yeah, I'm doing fine. Actually, better than fine. But, is there nothing you want to say to me? Huh, what do you mean? And why didn't you write back to me? Dean's eyes showed confusion. Write a letter. Why didn't you send a letter? You could have at least given me a heads up. I meant to reply, but I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. A simple sorry is supposed to cover it. I came all the way here. I've been so busy preparing to leave the capital that I haven't had the headspace for anything else. Please forgive me just this once. She thought to herself. She must be really annoyed. She continued, What can I do to make it up to you? I'll do anything you say to apologize. Looking at him, Layla's eyes suddenly turned suspicious. Really? She thought. I need to get out of this situation first, but what could she possibly want me to do? Dean offered. What should I do for you? How about a friendly spar? A spar, sure. Fighting me is fine, right? All right, let's see then. Are you sure you won't regret this? You look soft. Hey, I've gotten way stronger than I used to be. I'm not the same person who had to learn how to release mana from you anymore. She thought, looking confident. It seems like she's really grown up over these past 7 years. Dean added, Now that I remember, you mentioned winning a competition in your last letter, right? Layla replied, You remembered. Yeah, I won the Danter Cup organized by the royal family. Dean continued, Oh, right. That's the Empire's competition for teenagers under 15, isn't it? That competition really does have high standards. If you had participated, we would have definitely faced off in the finals. What a shame, Dean said. That regret can be settled right now, she replied. Are you really sure about this? I still have my entrance exam coming up. What if I get hurt? She thought, who should be worrying about who here? Dean continued, I'll be fine. Anyway, it's late today. How about we spar first thing tomorrow morning, using training weapons? You still use blunt training weapons, right? Dean replied, No, this is just a light spar, so... If that's the case, using training weapons is fine. No matter how skilled you are, you can't handle every situation. What if you get hurt while we're fighting? Don't worry. Heller, the Empire's best healer, is currently looking after my family. And what if an accident happens that Heller can't heal? If you want to wield a bladed weapon, you need to have that kind of mindset. It's just a spar. Why are you being so serious? Fine. Training weapons it is. Good, bring the training weapons to me. Yes, young lady, she thought. As expected, she really has become the proud young woman everyone rumored her to be. People even say she will soon achieve greatness, just like her 2 older brothers, who are active as knights. Perhaps Duke Thormian has finally raised the first female head of the family. Truly overcoming her mana issues has become a powerful driving force. Layla remembered. She thought to herself, Dean, thanks to you, I learned the basics of controlling mana much faster than my peers. Now I have 2 mana cores. I've waited for this day for so long. If I win, maybe you'll feel a little sad. Just then the butler approached, interrupting Layla's thoughts. My lady, the weapons have arrived. Thank you, Dean thought. That's right. Since these are just training weapons, they're quite light. I wonder if that will be okay. On the battlefield, I can use anything I get my hands on. All right, shall we begin? Let's. Watching Dean prepare to attack, Layla thought, It's a good thing I practiced against a spear wielder at the Danter Cup, but it wasn't too difficult. A spear has great range, but the impact force decreases when you close the distance. In that case, I'll rush in all at once. Layla stopped thinking and charged at Dean with all her might. Just as her sword was about to touch Dean, her eyes widened in surprise. Wait, what? Where did he go? When she realized this, Dean's spear tip was already right beside her. Dean, how long have you been there? It's a good thing this is just a training weapon. If it were a real one, something terrible would have happened. I clearly touched your sword. Layla thought, I can't believe it. All right, let's start over. The same method won't work, so I have to move carefully. Okay, Dean, she told herself. It's been a while, so I'm a bit nervous. This time I'm definitely not going to hold back. Layla looked toward another side of the railing. Her father was also watching the 2 of them spar. He thought, The Duke of Thormien came to see the final result. I understand your intentions, my lord. Since Layla has worked so hard after winning the title at the Danter Cup, you must be very worried. Today, I will help her shake off those worries. Dean, get ready because father is watching too. I will fight with everything I have no matter what happens. At that moment, Layla swung her staff toward the ground. Immediately, a powerful blast of wind surged toward Dean. He used his strength to quickly spin his weapon, creating a circle while simultaneously blocking the incoming wind. How was that, Dean? Not so easy, right? There's still a long way to go. Give it everything you've got. The battle between the two continued evenly matched. It was unclear how it would proceed. But what is this uneasy feeling? The smile on Dean's face had completely vanished. He appeared now with the look of a warrior ready for battle. Powerful strikes were unleashed, and Dean only used the staff in his hand to block Layla's mysterious techniques. Suddenly, she shifted her stance and stepped back to prepare for a thrust, but Dean just dodged to the side and easily avoided the attack. Moments later, with a swift move, he parried Layla's sword with his staff, leaving her stunned and frozen in place. It seemed like he'd won again. From another corner, others were watching the match closely. Lost again, huh? What do you think, Asma? Will this finally knock some of the arrogance out of Layla? Asma stood still for a moment, then, breaking into a cold sweat, he replied, So you were aware of that, sir? Of course I was. There were signs even before the Danter Cup, and after she won the championship, it became even more apparent. I had intended to have a serious talk with her, but I figured it would be better if she realized it on her own. It seems that was a wise decision. In your opinion, how many manacores does that boy have? Asma asked, looking toward Dean, who was in the middle of sparring. At least 3, he answered. I think otherwise. He has at least 2, and at most 3. Why do you think that, sir? Look closely. His spear work is powerful, but it's not just speed. Layla is inexperienced. That's his tactical edge. To think he could block all of her attacks. I can follow all of his movements. Is he really just a swordsman? Perhaps. He may lack real combat experience. I still find it hard to believe. Just when Layla was at her peak. Memories flooded back. Greetings, Count Sogsrus. That was after the inspection in the south 7 years ago, right after meeting Dean. And perhaps it's the same this time. It's fascinating. The young lady won the Danter Cup, yet she clearly couldn't use her full strength. Did Count Soros train her very strictly? You don't understand, Akun. Even if he's strict, he isn't the type to teach through harshness. Unlike me, Dean didn't need to undergo grueling training. Yes. What do you mean? A talent so superior that ordinary people simply cannot compare. Dean is a genius with a spear in his hand. Dean continued to deflect Layla's wooden sword, leaving her in shock once again. Maybe he didn't participate because he had no interest in the Danter Cup. Is that really so? Asma thought. No way. How could he not be interested in the Danter Cup, a tournament everyone in the Empire dreams of? Right now, no one his age can compete with his ability. The old man thought to himself, Layla, I hope you realize your own weaknesses in this fight. If you can let go of that arrogance and focus more on training your swordsmanship, you will surpass other opponents. Layla thought to herself, Honestly, Dean, I truly cannot defeat you. He is a talent, but I never expected the gap between us to be this wide. You're tired. Let's stop here. Layla said, Fine. You win. Dean thought to himself, the Duke's wish has been fulfilled. Surely she has realized now that she is not number 1. From behind, Layla asked, How did you train? Dean replied, Hard work. Everyone needs to work hard. Just keep working harder, that's all. I'll be going now. Next time you won't win again? Fine, I'll be waiting. Layla thought to herself, Dean is the only child I admire. The memories resurfaced again. Yeah, but since the 3rd match your feet only moved forward by half a step. At the same time, he is the one I want to surpass. Just waiting for guidance. All right. Is that right? Yes. A wonderful success. I want to prove that I am no longer a little girl. Why does he keep pulling further away from me? Just you wait next time, I will definitely win. Talents from all over the empire have flocked to participate in this entrance exam. If you count their families and attendants, the number of people gathered in the capital is nearly 1,000. About 600 candidates have registered for the Royal Academy entrance exam. Even though they paid the examination fee, this number is nowhere near enough for the total applications. However, 2/3 of them did not pass the first round. After the preliminary exam ended, more than 200 candidates are preparing for the second specialized exam. Elsewhere, a lively conversation is taking place. 200 people pass the first exam. Interesting, but I think only about 200 will pass the next exam. Another person asked, "Are there any standouts among this year's candidates? There are some potential talents. Nobody has summarized the results of the first exam yet." The person in charge is Professor Denabo, the Dean of the Magic Department. "I wonder who will get the highest score." The girl named Ingrid, Dean of the Combat Arts Department, continued. "Surely the top student in swordsmanship is the Duke of Thermion's daughter, right?" "That's right. She is the one who won the Danter Cup. Truly an excellent final match. The Duke of Thermion raised his children very well." The person opposite nodded in agreement. "In my opinion, the top swordsmanship student is truly something to look forward to. And this is Dean Penis Dean of the Summoning Department. That's definitely for sure." The other person explained, "Who is that young man?" Someone else asked Professor S.J.D. Dean of the Swordsmanship Department. "Perhaps there is no one capable of competing with him yet. There is one thing that makes me wonder. This is a letter of recommendation from Siren, sealed by the Narasin Magic Tower, imbued with mana. That means Siren really did recommend someone. Whoever it is, it's hard to surpass the person who won the Danter Cup, right? Siren, who is famous for not taking students, sent a letter of recommendation for a 14-year-old boy. Who exactly is he?" Dean Sogres, someone in the group, spoke up. "Count Solres. The Solres family again." Everyone started whispering. There are already 2 geniuses in the magic and summoning departments. If the youngest son is also recommended by Siren, then the Solres family cannot be ordinary. Having 2 prestigious families of the continent register, this must be a hot topic. One person said, "Wait, no, it's the Solres family again." Everyone's whispering about how they already have 2 geniuses in the magic and summoning departments. If the youngest son is also introduced by Lord Sirens, then the Solres family is nothing short of legendary. Being scouted by 2 of the continent's most prestigious families is bound to be the talk of the town. Wait, hold on. No way. So it's the Solgrace family, famous for their magic pedagogy department, isn't it? And yet, he's here with a recommendation letter from a mage. It seems like this family is rising because of magic. Huh? I thought for sure he'd go into magic pedagogy if he joined with Arabella. That would be incredibly powerful, one of them thought. Just then, someone else came running from afar, apologizing for interrupting the conversation, but said the results for the first exam were out and to check them quickly. What are the numbers? The swordplay department has 1,367 people, the magic department has 227, and the summoning department has 152. As expected, the swordplay department has a huge gap. The top scorer is clearly... Wait, his name isn't on the list. Are you sure? What about the recommendation letter from Sidran? Our department doesn't see his name either. Is there any candidate not on the list for the free major? Ah, about that. There is one candidate applying for the free major. A free major. How surprising. Out of 600 candidates, Dean Solgrace achieved the highest score in the first exam. The first exam, huh? Elsewhere, a feeling of nostalgia washed over him. I've been here for a month already. Time flies. The battle with Layla feels like it just happened. Yesterday. And now the first exam has passed, and I'm waiting for the results. It's a relief the exam wasn't too hard, Dean told himself. Right after that, Layla ran over to ask if Dean had received his results and what rank he got. The notification sound rang out. Academy results, first place. Wow, you got first place. Yeah, it was definitely you. It's so annoying that I missed first place, Layla exclaimed. How on earth did you study? Dean confidently replied, mainly based on the questions she sent me. Layla interrupted. I looked at those too, but I still found the military subject the hardest. Dean thought to himself that his strength was what he learned in his past life. Layla continued, Do you think a 14-year-old can understand tactics strategy and military management? Dean very confidently replied, For me, that was the easiest subject. Don't you find that interesting? You're definitely not an ordinary person. Not just military, but also art, music, and even the history of the Greenwich Empire. That's my major, Layla reacted. Dean thought about the countless things he had accidentally picked up in the past. So what? Major, are you applying for? There are 3 spots in total, right? 7 out of 3. 3 spots. But did you really apply for the free major? To tell you the truth, I just intend to learn what I like, Dean replied smoothly. Why did you choose the free major? I can't understand it. Because I want to learn everything. The acceptance rate is very low. I heard the free major allows me to take any class I want until graduation. I can even research alongside the professors too, Dean emphasized. Is that why no one applies? Because they didn't know that? You don't like studying with me, so you're trying to fail on purpose, aren't you? It's not that. Then do you really think you'll pass? Besides pedagogy and summoning, what else do you know? Tell me right now. Ha ha ha. Dean laughed, thinking to himself whether he should reveal it. The screen shifted to another place. We finally reached this point. To participate in the free major exam, you have to pass 4 specializations. It seems like the practical aspect will be important. Summoning, pedagogy, and magic are truly different from cores and magic circles. What could he be thinking, Dean? Penis. The head of the summoning department continued to speak. Initially, there were some people who passed 2 free major specializations, but almost no one had the strength to pass even 1. Professor Danbo, the head of the magic department, chimed in. Or, choose pedagogy or magic. Just 1 is good enough. The free major has existed for about 200 years, hasn't it? But almost no one passes. Others expressed doubt. The beginning wasn't as difficult as it is now. Back then, the academy needed talent during the conquest era, and everyone was nurtured. But now that's no longer the case. The standards are getting higher. Most candidates don't dare to register for the major they are best at. The head of the pedagogy department asked further, Then why does this major still exist? No one in the department registers and no one passes. That's because it's a symbol that only the most excellent talents of the empire can pass. That is also important, even though it has now become a decaying major and is only kept for the sake of its name. According to the results I've looked up over the last 100 years, only 2 people have passed this exam. 1 dropped out, the other is the former emperor. In other words, if you are not a genius, it is almost impossible to pass. If you are the youngest son of the war hero, a Kinzagres, then your family is not ordinary. I, too, have expectations, and maybe he's just a cocky kid. Based on our thinking, we could allow him to enroll, but as a professor, I cannot be careless. Does that kid really have the confidence to challenge this? At the second exam hall, Dean Soulgrace introduced himself. I am Dean Soulgrace, applying for the free major department of the Royal Academy. Hearing that a voice interjected, Do you, Lindide Bottas, know what it means to apply for the free major? Dean replied, Certainly. I know that all 3 specializations require achieving a passing score. The voice continued, Your name is Dean, right? It's not too late yet. The questioner added, I have great respect for Count Soulgrace. He is the best pedagogue in the empire. I don't want to see his son get eliminated and have to go back. Dean humbly thanked the professor for the compliment, but said, I came here with the determination to do my best. Danbo's eyes were critical, thinking to himself, That's right. If he were the type to easily give up in the face of those words, he probably wouldn't have applied in the first place. Then there is no other way. There are 3 tests depending on the specialization you choose. If you fail one of them, you will be automatically eliminated. I understand, Dean replied. Then we will start with the summoning department as decided before. Immediately, the figure of a girl appeared before Dean. He thought to himself that it was Professor Dean Penis, a top-tier summoner of the Anthian Empire. She set a record with 3 summons of level 2 or higher. The girl declared, "The testing method of the summoning department is very simple. Please satisfy me in any way related to summoning magic." He thought to himself, just as expected, a free test based on interest. There are no specific standards or forms. He continued, "If so, Professor, can you summon a beast for me? Anything, any summon at all?" Dean nodded. "That's right, any summon works." His question drew attention from everyone nearby. Diablo felt beads of sweat forming. Binny wondered, "What's he planning? He hasn't shown anything yet. I thought he was just talking theory. Is he really trying to summon something?" After a moment of thought, the girl shifted her gaze and said, "All right, it's bold, but I like it. You certainly appreciate the extraordinary. Go ahead." Eyes wide, watching intently, Dean stood by with bated breath. On the other side, the girl began to chant. As her eyes glowed, she called out, "Answer the call." Instantly, a spatial rift tore open in the sky, causing a stir among everyone nearby. Even the 2 heads of the academy were filled with shock. "That's a frenzied summon. Is that an Ezrak?" Dean thought to himself. The roar sounded terrifying. It was the most ferocious of all level 4 summons. No one had ever summoned it without being attacked. Since this is the entrance exam, I wasn't confident enough, but this is truly exciting. The girl continued. "Well, I've summoned whatever I wanted, haven't I? Now, what are you going to do?" Hearing that, Dean just smiled in silence. The Ezrak was the most vicious level 4 creature. Even knights struggled to defeat it. What would they do now? Dean stepped closer to the beast, 1 step at a time. Diablo called out, "What are you doing? Stop right there. If you provoke the Ezrak, then..." The beast's roar echoed as Dean faced it head-on. "I just have to prove myself however I can, right?" The girl confirmed, "That's right, but don't try proving it by jumping into a pit of fire." Dean replied, "That won't happen. Don't worry, everyone." His words made Binny break out in a cold sweat as Dean began to chant. Weaving magical words, the creature's eyes began to shift, turning strangely docile. There, good boy. This could only mean, it's quite a bit bigger than a Zenbu, isn't it? Binny thought silently, unable to believe his eyes. Unbelievable. The vicious Ezrak is actually acting so submissive. Is it because of the magical tether connecting him to the Ezrak? The color was faint, so it wasn't total submission, but it had completely erased the Ezrak's hostility. Watching from afar, Dean smiled softly. "Haha, even seeing it with my own eyes, I can hardly believe it." Was that innate empathy? That's incredible. The girl wondered. Did you approach the Ezrak, analyze its magical tether in an instant, and then create a matching one? To connect with it yourself. If that was his way of taming his talent, surpassed even hers, and she was the one her master constantly praised. If that was the case, the future really is something to look forward to. Pausing for a moment, the girl walked toward Dean and said, "Dean Soros, your abilities have been fully verified. Courage, calm judgment, and solid, foundational skills. There is no doubt about it, you have passed the exam." The 2 heads of the academy confirmed in unison from afar, "We agree." The screen faded, the test ending just 30 minutes later. "So you're the top student now, huh? I heard you were also the top student in swordsmanship." "No, you're the top student. Cheer up, they're throwing a party to celebrate us passing." Layla sighed. "I still can't believe it. The gap is just that big. It's like an irresistible force. A natural disaster." Watching the girl's silhouette as she walked away, Dean called out, "Layla, she wants to be alone. Let her go." The attendant advised, though, "Don't worry too much. Layla will get over it." "Have you contacted your father yet? The Count must be very proud." Yes, everyone was very happy. He said if I chose the liberal arts major, it was well deserved. Everyone was surprised. The exam was over. Get some rest and prepare for the semester, Dean replied. Yes, thanks to the Duke's concern, I've had a wonderful time. Have you thought about the item for the blacksmith yet? I'm thinking about a sword, but I don't have a concrete plan yet, Dean explained. My body is still growing, so I don't know what kind of sword to make. I need more time to think. This is a good opportunity, isn't it? There's no rush, just take it easy. Duke, you should go to the Duchess. I know. Then I'll be going first. As his figure faded into the distance, Dean was lost in thought. The Duchess's illness seemed to be lingering. Images from his memories surfaced. Fortunately, the symptoms haven't worsened, but they haven't improved either, and it's been years. It's a shame. As someone who has never seen their own family suffer from illness, it's hard for me to understand the feeling. Should I go and comfort Layla? 2 days later, a voice echoed throughout the space. It is an honor to welcome the new students of the Royal Academy. I am Ajon Thomas, the principal of the Academy. This year, I am overjoyed to see the new students who have overcome fierce competition to stand here today. I believe the future of the Empire will be brighter than ever with elite talents like you, especially this time. We have many outstanding talents. One of them has been accepted into the liberal arts major, an extremely rare achievement, as only 2 people have accomplished this in the last 100 years. This student has been accepted by all 3 department heads of the fields of academics, magic, and summoning. The announcement caused a stir. Whoa, a student accepted into the liberal arts major. That's unbelievable. Who could be that talented? Ajon Thomas continued. The representative of the new students, the top student, Dean Saurus, please come forward. Everyone started whispering again. That kid got into the liberal arts major. What kind of blessing does the Saurus family have? Look at him, isn't he impressive? I can clearly see that. Oh, he's the valedictorian. You've raised him very well, Akin. Compared to yours, it's nothing. I raised 2 boys, and what do I have to show for it? My daughter is nowhere to be found at the entrance ceremony. The eldest is far away, and the youngest ran away from home. You have 2 daughters. That's truly wonderful. I'm very envious. You have Lily too, but when he heard this, Akun's gaze turned slightly sad. He looked toward his daughter and thought to himself, I wish my lady were here too. Venice asked, Have you been close to spirit beasts since you were small? Yes, Professor. It's truly an innate ability to connect with them since birth, she thought. It really is a miracle. This young man, despite his unassuming appearance, has abilities far beyond other summoners. Ah, Professor, with Dean's ability to connect, could he perhaps summon beasts from beyond the horizon? She contemplated another world where spirit beasts have been disconnected for over 100 years. Would the spirit beasts there choose a mage? Who knows, perhaps you are the Dean Solgris from the rumors. I hope your talent shines brightly at this academy. I've noted that. Next is the valedictorian's oath. He thought, finally I've entered the academy. The process to get here was so long, but I won't waste this new life I've been gifted. This is just the beginning. In the academy's main lecture hall, another voice spoke up. I will conclude the academy introduction here. We will take a short break before moving on to the next part. Please take this time to eat and rest. A voice from the crowd called out, Listen, Dean, from now on many people will target you. Whether their intentions are good or bad, you must be careful. If anyone proposes something, you must consider it. Very carefully. I heard many people here aren't very well educated. Yes, I understand. Whispers began to spread. Don't refuse, just join us. Club activities are the pride of the academy in our club. Sorry, I have no intention of joining. Haha, so many, yet another new member. Catch the red-haired one over there. That's the talent we've been looking for. Layla added, Oh, the seniors are inviting you to join their clubs during the break. Dean thought about what his eldest sister said regarding how many interesting clubs there were. Just then, a loud shout echoed through the crowd. Find the valedictorian Saurus. No, we must invite him to our club. Hearing that, Layla interjected, "Dean, everyone is targeting you. What should I do now? First, let's get out of here. Where are you going?" Dean Solgris joined the Body Beauty Club, where you can improve and train your body. Rookie, are you interested in our Map Exploration Research Society? If you join now, a new map. Our Astrology Research Society gathers the best talents. Next to him was the Duke's daughter. Don't let her slip away. Layla added, "Oh, I'm not joining, really, I'm not joining." Dean thought to himself, "I'm used to being chased, but this is my first time in a situation like this. Being the valedictorian is so exhausting." Others whispered, "Wait, is that Kenta Shivane?" "That's right. I heard after the Royal Knight retired, he became a professor immediately, an excellent successor. But there is a rather difficult problem, which is having a student majoring in liberal arts for the first time in decades. Before that, it was a comfortable position for him, as he only occasionally wrote theses and achieved moderate results. Now that comfortable life has come to an end. It seemed he had to prepare for his teaching session. If it were me, I'd be annoyed too." He continued, "The orientation for new students has ended." He thought, "This is absurd. Why? Is there a student admitted at this time?" Meanwhile, Dean stood before the door, eyes thoughtful, saying nothing. "You're Dean Solgris, right here, early welcome. Professor, it's a pleasure to meet you." "All right, come in." A moment later, he thought, "I had to work so hard to get this position. Head of the Liberal Arts Department, Kenta Shivan. I came here to rest, not to teach. If I had to teach mapping, I'd already be sick of the nights." Fed up with guiding the knights, Kenta spoke up. "Why did you want to apply for the liberal arts major?" "To do what I want. And you, do you intend to transfer to another major?" "No, I don't want to lose this opportunity." Kenta thought, if it stays like this, I have to guide him. Is there really no other way? Wait, it seems he didn't take the swordsmanship exam. Is the reason for not taking it because he's not confident? Kenta asked, "Hey, do you know anything about swordsmanship?" "Swordsmanship. I don't mean to hide anything, but since you are my professor, at least I should know what your skill level in swordsmanship is." Dean thought, "Why the sudden question about swordsmanship? It feels like I'm not welcome." Dean added, "It's not that I'm not interested in swordsmanship." "Thank goodness, then I'll test you." "Yes, please." "Very well." He thought, caught in the trap. Kenta continued, "Then come to the dark room, my training ground." He thought, I have the right to evaluate the student. I just need to use the excuse that his swordsmanship is poor to make him leave. When entering the weapon storage room, Kenta signaled for Dean to freely choose any sword he wanted. The training ground was messy with swords thrown all over the place, mixed with piles of dirty trash on the floor, making him feel something wasn't right. Even though he knew the liberal arts major didn't have many students, the situation, being this bad, was truly serious. He puzzled over the array of swords of all shapes and sizes, not knowing which one to choose or how to judge what. A good sword was in this mess. Despite his initial hesitation, Dean quickly stepped forward and decisively drew a single sword. Kentus had secretly guessed that Dean would choose dual blades to fight, but seeing him hold only one, Dean looked undeniably confident, firm in his choice. "Yes, this one is enough, sir." The condition Kentus set sounded simple enough, but everyone knew this professor's strength was not to be underestimated. "If you can touch me even once with that blade, you'll pass the test." To show off his kindness and simultaneously show off his own talent, the professor set a personal limit. "It won't be hard because I will only move within a 2-step radius." Dean's eyes suddenly lit up. "Yes, I understand, sir," he replied. Kentus also seemed eager to see what his new student could do. "All right then, let's begin." However, a flicker of doubt crept into the professor's mind. Was he really that confident? Seeing the radiant smile on Dean's face, Kentus suddenly had another thought. Could it be? Is there a hidden meaning behind it? Immediately, Dean was the one who initiated lunging toward Kentus. With his sword gripped tight, his speed was not only astonishing, but his face also beamed with a determination to win. Kentus couldn't help but be startled as the sword tip got very close, less than a hand's breadth away. Even though he had dodged the first attack, the professor couldn't stop thinking about Dean's unexpected skill. Wow, he's fast! Could that be why he was accepted into the liberal arts major? With just a single sword, Dean suddenly unleashed a series of miraculous strikes as if multiple people were fighting at once, creating a shadow clone effect. Each strike was powerful, decisive, and imposing. It was hard to fathom how Kenta still had time to think while another blade just grazed his face. What is this? The professor couldn't hesitate for even a second. He immediately raised his own sword to defend, but remained determined to keep the original promise not to move more than 2 steps. Despite Dean's relentless onslaught, how could Kentus stay calm when the blade kept slicing dangerously past him? Oh my, a split second later, and that would have been big trouble. This swordsmanship is truly unusual. Could he be a fool who somehow knows how to use a sword? Dean managed to pull back his steps in time. Otherwise, the professor might have been injured. Clearly, this was just a small test. Dean's heavy breathing could be heard, and Kentus had also been feeling the fatigue for a while. Suddenly, he began to analyze Dean's background, and furthermore, this kid fights just like a soldier on the battlefield, not like someone raised in the nobility or as a knight. The professor remained standing in one spot, continuously swinging his sword to block Dean's strikes. They were both decisive and powerful. Dean's fighting style seemed a bit chaotic, but the way he attacked his opponent from every angle was incredibly effective. As Dean's techniques sliced past his face, Kentus couldn't help but panic, barely able to block in time. Even the way he fought, as if splitting his body in two, every strike radiated formidable power. Kentus had to handle himself as Dean kept changing his attack position at a dizzying speed. Unbelievable. I've reached level 6 and I have to focus this much. He had to dodge skillfully while constantly reflecting on his own abilities. I'm fighting a 14-year-old. He doesn't even need a weapon advantage. The professor's feet only dared to shift a small step to the side to dodge. Dean lowered his center of gravity 1 foot, stepping back as if gaining momentum to lunge. Suddenly, Kentus grimaced. His expression wasn't as natural as when he was talking, but this look felt strangely familiar. The boy's sword strikes reminded him of his past battles. Before him was a chaotic battlefield, but there was one person sweeping everything aside. Those sharp strikes of his slicing through and destroying countless enemies with a completely expressionless face. This left him stunned. Who on earth was that? Returning to reality, the battle between Dean and Kentus was still ongoing. The tips of their swords were pointing straight at each other, but suddenly, Dean's sword tip aimed straight at Kentus's heart. The professor didn't understand why he had been so distracted, not focusing on the fight. Why was I thinking about other things? A victorious smile blossomed on Dean's lips. He gently withdrew his sword and asked, "Professor Kentus, I think I've met the requirements, sir." The air suddenly fell into silence. Kentus gritted his teeth and closed his eyes, not knowing what to say about losing to a child. The sword in his hand slowly lowered, but the professor still gripped the hilt tightly to suppress his rising anger. Finally, he was forced to admit Dean's capability. "You pass." While Dean was still panting from the exertion, Kentus was not tired at all. In his mind, he kept calculating without the handicap, this match would have been truly difficult. Indeed, if he only had the skills of a royal knight, he wouldn't be able to do anything special. In reality, Dean had revealed his extraordinary ability from the moment he decided to enroll. Only now did Kentus silently think, but this kid is truly a genius, a special kind of genius. Even with the handicap, he was not inferior to me, someone who has reached level 6. After this confrontation, Kentus understood many things he had inadvertently forgotten. Now I understand why he had no interest in the swordsmanship exam. The professor felt quite surprised by Dean's superior talent. Why, with skills like this, did you not apply for the swordsmanship department? No one expected his reason to be so simple. Because I thought my family would be sad. Kentas was like someone interrupted mid-sentence, unable to understand what the student was saying. What was that? Suddenly the professor seemed to want to say something, but hesitated. Quickly, Kentas had looked into Dean's family's abilities. Everyone was incredibly elite. Dean's father was a master of martial arts, and his two sisters were masters of magic and summoning. Could it be he chose all three majors just to meet his family's expectations? Could it be that he wasn't? Wait, is he doubting his own swordsmanship? Did I misjudge him? Just then, a voice snapped him back. Professor, have you finished all the paperwork? Ah, yes, all right, that's done. You can head off now. I'll send you the official notice soon. Dean shifted into a tone of utmost politeness. Yes, thank you, Professor. The professor's face wore a look of discomfort that was hard to pin down. Was he just annoyed about losing the test, or was a deep, burning curiosity about Dean's true ability taking root? Kentas stood frozen, watching the young man's back as he faded into the distance. Even as Dean approached the door, the professor couldn't stop questioning himself. Had he let personal feelings cloud his evaluation? What an unwise decision. I wonder, have the other department heads felt like this when they were proctors? Kentas tried to breathe deeply, struggling to regain his composure despite the frustration boiling inside him. Every plan to get rid of him and live a peaceful life had gone up in smoke. Suddenly he squeezed his eyes shut and carefully reconsidered everything. Who exactly is that person? A distant memory came flooding back, pulling him to the days when Kentas was a soldier. He remembered a moment where he had focused all his attention in a single direction. Back then, he couldn't utter a single word. He could only stand there motionless, observing the situation. Suddenly, amidst the chaos, the young man had expertly handled hundreds of rebels. A voice echoed, "Don't!" He turned his head, his gaze still fixed on the sun, casting its final rays before nightfall. Kentas was utterly bewildered. A single drop of cold sweat suddenly rolled down his face. With a hint of hesitation, a name slipped from his lips. The image of the man instantly burned into Kentas's mind. Yes, it was that name. On the academy grounds, a group of students were gathered buzzing with excitement over the test that had just finished. Dean's two sisters were no exception. Clara asked again, her voice full of surprise, "Did you really pass the test?" Dean hesitated, a touch of confusion showing on his face. "Yes, I suppose so." Clara put a hand to her mouth and cleared her throat softly. She closed her eyes to think for a moment before speaking. "That's strange. Professor Kentas isn't the kind of person who passes students easily." Dean stood opposite her, his forehead beaded with sweat, silently lamenting. Surprisingly, she remembered what happened before Professor Kentas Refield had once stood before the headmaster. She frowned. That professor only teaches regular classes once a year, but this time the headmaster personally summoned him. He hates troublesome things, yet in the end he agreed. Clara nodded in agreement. "Yeah, that's why I'm surprised." Then, suddenly, she stepped closer and gently grabbed her brother's arm. She placed a hand on Dean's shoulder, then leaned in slightly and said, "It's a relief that nothing bad happened." Dean smiled and replied, "Yes." The girl beamed with a bright smile, sighing in relief, as if a heavy burden had been lifted. Seeing that smile, Dean thought to himself, "Big sister isn't even praising me. As expected, she's just my sister." She was simply feeling relieved that he was safe and sound. As the two siblings were chatting happily, someone came running up from afar, their voice booming loudly. Before she could appear, it was Arabella. She called out, "Oh, Dean, I was wondering where you were." Hearing the familiar voice, the two siblings turned back. Dean called out happily, "Big sister." Arabella gave them both a radiant smile and asked, "Our youngest passed the test, right?" The three of them standing together quickly attracted attention, causing a small stir. The nearby students pointed and gossiped excitedly about the Stress family. "Look at that, the Stress sisters are gathering. I thought Arabella and Clara were already excellent, but now the youngest is even more talented." Then both of his sisters. What kind of family are they? The scene shifted to another area of the city. A voice went on and on. I am Mo, in charge of all dormitory management. The dorms are divided into 3 areas, based on the students' entrance scores. Among them, the highest-ranking area is called Jan Oan, named after the first emperor. The two walked slowly down the stone-paved path. Dean listened intently to the story, then replied softly, I see. Seeing him nod, Mo continued. Student Dean, you are the valedictorian of the free major, so you will stay in this area. The cafeteria, training grounds, and library here are all high class. Furthermore, there is even a private lounge and a convenient magic projection room. He paused for a moment and added with a mysterious air, besides that, there is also a special secret device. Hearing that strange phrase, Dean was slightly surprised. He glanced quickly at Mo and thought to himself, What secret? Mo held the key in his hand, turned back and instructed, though this might not happen depending on your future test scores. It is possible you will have to move out of this area. He added, Arabella and Clara also stayed in this area, but only until they graduated. Dean wasn't surprised. He thought to himself, oh, as expected of my sisters. Then Mo held up the key engraved with the number 705. This is, the entry key for Student Dean's room. Dean took the key carefully with both hands. Mo continued, We will give you 2 spares, so if you happen to lose them, report it to me. Dean looked at the key and nodded. Yes, I understand. Mo cautioned further. Be careful from now on. There are many students here with strange personalities. They aren't bad people. But sometimes unexpected things happen. All right, go check your room. If you have any needs, report to the logistics office. Hearing Mo, Dean pondered in his heart. He sighed softly. Should I go see the room right now? Entering his new residence, Dean looked around. This is pretty fancy. He walked, while observing every corner. But why was it so quiet? Suddenly Dean stopped. His whole body stiffened. He felt that something wasn't right. A very strange feeling. A school this large, yet there wasn't a single servant and not a shadow of a guard anywhere.